He predicted his own arrest, and he predicted everything happening to him.
What'd he say?
He snitched on himself way back in the past, but it flew over everyone's head.
Nobody is safe anymore. The world is definitely coming to an end. What's scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 90% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos. Thank you.
So now men are able to have babies. Yeah, the world is over as we know it. That's an abomination. Out of all things they can create in the science lab, they came up with a man having a baby with a man. Make it make sense. Who wanted that? I'm telling y'all, the world is cooked. Y'all don't think so? I wonder how the ladies is feeling about this. You finna start having women go up to the man like, nah, nigga, you finna have this baby. I'm highly confused. Then they gonna say, oh, you shouldn't worry about it though. We were just testing to see if this was possible. Nah, fool, ain't no just testing this to see if it was possible. Y'all on some weird shit. The world is just getting crazier and crazier. I remember a couple years ago, it was some women that wanted to have babies with only women so they can wipe out all the men. Now, what if the men that's having babies with men, think about that. My brain is just hurting, bruh. Yeah, I know it's almost close to the end because, like I said, this is some fuckery. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
See, in my opinion, I think we need to throw this idea in the garbage because I don't know why they appointed Diddy as the head of biological decisions. There's just so many issues that are going to come out of this. And imagine your dad gave birth to you and you have to go to school and everybody knows that now. Like, you're going to get roasted. I'm sorry. That's just like, the bullying is going to be off the charts. See, I've seen a lot of things coming, but this was not one of them. So
This obsessed fan decided to send a letter bomb with sulfuric acid in it to this really famous artist because he found out that she was dating a black dude.
Really? This sounds super familiar. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, you probably have heard of this. It's so interesting. This was in Florida in 1996 to this man named Ricardo Lopez. He became obsessed with this artist named Bjork.
Yeah, I know who Bjork is. Wow, really? This happened to Bjork?
Yes, and he was super obsessed with her, and the way he looked at her was that she was really innocent and pure. This guy became so in love with Bjork that he would record video diaries all the time, just talking about how much he loved her, what he loved about her.
Really?
Yes, all of these other details of just things that he really idolized of her.
And would he send her the videos?
No,
Oh,
he would
just keep
keep
them
them
for
to himself, and he recorded over 22 hours of footage of him just talking about Bjork. And it all changed one day when Bjork started to date this other artist named Goldie. He was this African-American artist, and he did not like that at all because he saw it as Bjork dating this guy. She became, and these are his words, tainted and unpure. He came up with this plan where he was going to create a letter bomb and put sulfuric acid in it, and he was planning on mailing it to her and killing her with this bomb. So he wanted to ship it to her house in London at the time, and right after, he was planning on ending his own life as well. He said so they would be reunited together in heaven. On the fateful day, he ships it out and it goes in the mail. He goes and records his final video. He pulls out a gun and shoots himself on film. Then several hours after, police got called to go to this guy's apartment because I think a neighbor or somebody ended up hearing the gunshot. Sure. They go in there, they bust through the door. Then they find all his tapes. All 22 hours. Start going through them. As they're going through them, they end up finding the tape where he specifically talked about what he wanted to do to Bjork. They ended up going to like the post office in that area in Florida, and they ended up intercepting the bomb before it got to Bjork. Yeah, and then they defused it in like a safe location before it ended up getting to her. Yeah, super wild.
Did she ever find out about?
She did. I was just gonna tell you. Yeah, so she ended up finding out, and I think she talked about it on an interview where she pretty much was just like, "That is super terrifying, and I did not know that my fans can go that far of like loving me, and that type of love is dangerous." You know what I mean?
For sure.
And she ended up like doubling her security at the time for her and her son, and yeah, bro, she was terrified.
And they're saying romance is dead. No, this is actually like really terrible. Please don't do this. This is not true love, I promise.
This streamer convinced this homeless lady to jump into a lake knowing she couldn't swim and would drown.
Really?
Yes.
Did it for the stream.
She did it for the stream. It was this girl named Natalie Reynolds, and I think she streams on Kick. She went to this lake with a couple of her homies. They see this homeless lady that's chilling by this lake. They walk up to this homeless lady. They tell her it would be cool if like you jumped in the lake. And you could tell she's trying to play around with them a little bit. She's like, I kind of do want to get in, but what if I drown? And she was just like saying that she can't swim. She promised her if she jumped in the water, she would give her $20, and she said that she was scuba certified. Being desperate for $20, was thinking, okay, yeah, maybe if I jumped right in, this girl will save me. Like, she'll come in and help me, even if I wouldn't be able to make it.
Yeah.
This video pissed me off, and I'll show you the video after. She jumps in the lake, immediately starts drowning. This girl starts panicking, who's the streamer. Her and her friends start laughing, and they go and say, oh my God, this is like literally crazy. We got to get out of here. And they leave.
No way.
And they left that lady drowning.
They didn't even give her the 20.
They didn't even give her the 20 either. They cut out. Wow. Somebody else that was there, I'm pretty sure, ended up calling for help. And firefighters that were in that area had to come over there, jump in the water, and rescue this lady right before she drowned. Like, she was literally already going to the bottom of the water, and they had to get her.
Whoa.
Yeah. This girl started getting stupid hate online. She got no repercussions from it from police, and then she jumped on her own social media and was saying that just give it a week, this will blow over.
That's insane, bro. Just to have that mindset, like whatever, bro. Like, you literally almost killed a lady.
Yes.
And your mindset is literally like, bro, it is not a big deal.
Yeah, but let me show you real quick, bro.
There's a scanner that you need to look for in the water.
Really?
Yeah.
What if I drown?
I'm scuba certified. You should jump in.
She goes in.
P. Diddy, he predicted his own arrest, and he predicted everything happening to him.
What'd he say?
He snitched on himself way back in the past, but it flew over everyone's head. Look. I'm gonna play you the whole thing.
Yeah.
In 2001, P. Diddy and G-Dep released a song called Let's Get It. Diddy features on the second verse where he opens up by saying this.
I run this city, send the cops, DA, the Fed to come get me.
And why? Because he's the one that paid off the costs. Remember? Recently, this mayor, what happened? He got arrested. He got arrested because he was getting paid by Diddy, and they found out.
Send the cops, DA, the Fed to come get me.
Ironically, the number 24 on Diddy's jersey was the year he was arrested.
Jersey had the number 24. He was arrested on 2024.
Diddy continues his verse with a not so subtle warning to his peers.
Cats wanna leave me for dead, you coming with.
What's that predicting? Not just him, but his peers and people are coming with him, because obviously they're gonna crack down on the whole case. This is what's crazy. He didn't write the verse.
Who wrote it?
50 Cent wrote it, right? Who's doing the Diddy documentary? 50 Cent. 50 Cent. Yo! It's a real life Final Destination. So there's a kid that warned his grandmother, don't go outside. You can get hit by lightning.
What the heck?
Don't go outside. And he stopped her from them. And it's all on camera.
Okay.
It's like all on camera. Look at this. So they're speaking Portuguese. Okay. Grandma, you can't go out.
Grandma, you can't go. Oh my God, how would he know this thing?
So she stays inside, and then look what happens. Boom. Right beside them.
Oh my gosh.
Right beside them. Before any of the thunder or lightning even happened, the kid stopped her.
I thought she went anyways. I was scared. I thought she was gonna pick up the kid and go.
Nah, that was the kid. The kid saved. And you know what's crazy? Because I hear stories about this before.
Yeah.
And somebody told me something similar, where their kid told them something.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Nick Jonas. And he was really good looking before it was kind of allowed to think he was good looking.
Right.
Which was a bit of a problem. You kind of had to wait till he turned to be,
Yes.
19 to 20. He was really good looking before it was kind of allowed to think he was good looking.
Right.
What a huge red flag, what a weird thing to say. Now if that was a guy saying that about a young girl, everyone would be losing their mind. But to me, the point still stands. What are you even trying to say? The insight you just give us into your mind, alarm bells are ringing straight away. But with these stars, as they call themselves, they're not stars. But with these egotistical people who think they're above everyone else, they think they can say what they want. Let that just be an insight into this guy's mind. Something that seems to be very common with the Hollywood celeb culture.
What do you even mean by that? Like, did he say this like we were about to relate to him? Like, I don't know about that. He really said this with a big old smile on his face, thinking that we were all gonna relate to this. Like, no, we don't know what you mean. We don't.
Jeffree Star talks about how the Illuminati is real. Clearly, if somebody knows, it's going to be somebody like him who has actually been in the inner circle of those different places.
Is the Illuminati real? Yes. Are there any other secret societies other than the Illuminati that maybe don't get as much press?
Yeah, but they're evil and I don't fuck with them.
Okay, so the Illuminati's not evil. They don't do, like, blood sacrifices.
See, the problem is when there's people in control of anything, they get greedy, egos, so they ruin things and they make it evil.
Mm-hmm. Care to elaborate?
No.
Okay, fair enough. And is the Illuminati like celebrity-based, or are there politicians also involved with that? It's just money-based.
Mm-hmm. And then the celebrities are used as a vessel.
Okay. Yeah. All right. How much money? How much money does someone have to make to be in?
Or what you're willing to do to not be broke anymore.
So what does that mean?
Dun, dun.
Yeah. You speak in riddles. Like, you give me just enough where I'm like, I don't know.
You have to, so I don't get my plane bombed or killed later, you know?
It's your fear for your life when you're speaking right now.
I don't know. I mean, I tested the waters recently to see if anyone would come after me.
And how'd you test the waters?
Just by saying a few things.
What'd you say?
I left LA and I broke ties with a lot of people and I stopped fucking with
They were also Illuminati
stuff. Yeah. So I'm still here.
Mm-hmm. For now.
For now.
Jeffrey's also basically talking about people who think that they're God. They make enough money where they feel like they have all the power in the world and they can do anything they want to do. We've seen that with Harvey Weinstein. We've seen that with Jeffrey Epstein. We've seen that with Bill Cosby. We've seen that with P. Diddy recently. There's a lot of different individuals who come into a place where they think that they're God. However, they're puppets as well for higher elites above them, and it ultimately just goes up to the devil. So is it real? Yes, it's complete evil and wickedness. And the only way to really fight against it is to come into goodness, to come into God, to come into Christ. You can't fight the spiritual realm without understanding the spiritual realm in Christ.
50 who? Nigga, this ain't no goddamn 50 Cent. Now, when they said 25 cent, this is more 25 cent-ish. This nigga look like a crossbreed between Denzel Washington and Curtis Jackson. Fuck, I mean, he is 50. For real. But y'all, how do you age that quick? I'ma show y'all a picture from August. Certain things just don't be sitting right with me, bruh. Maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm not. Maybe you think like me, maybe you don't. But this was just 50 Cent in August. What am I missing? What do y'all notice? From this picture to this picture, what do y'all notice? This shit is crazy, fool. Not my man 50. They done got my man 50 up. 50, why you let them set you up like this, fool? Come on now. You know what this remind me of? It remind me of that movie he played in when he lost all that damn weight. What movie was that? I'll wait. Somebody let me know in the comments. But that's what it's giving though. Bruh, this man is really set up for failure. He not even rocking the hat the same way either. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it down below in the comments.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies. Whole babies.
And that person happens to be a Hollywood mogul. And that person needs to be exposed, but unfortunately I can't be the one to do it. But the person that knows who did it and knows who he is watching right now, I guarantee you. There was a circle of older men that surrounded themselves around this group of kids.
I may end up running off with you myself, you know.
That's what Steven says.
It's Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good director, isn't he?
Yeah.
One of my favourite sayings of all time goes like this: there is no smoke without fire. Some would argue that these are older times, but no, good is good and bad is bad. And back to the smoke thing, why is it always this industry? Why is there so much stuff like this? Why is there so many things we can watch back that just make alarm bells start ringing in your mind? But I'll leave that up to you. Take a minute, think about it, do some research, and get back to me.
They're not even hiding it no more. Like, this isn't even comedy at this point. This is just weird. Like, why would you ever even joke about something like this? I mean, I could understand that they want to entertain people, but like, this is not even remotely funny. Like, even if it was, say, a joke, who is laughing at this? Like, unless they're trying to just like make this sort of thing normal to people, or I don't know why you would feel comfortable even saying this, especially on TV in front of millions of people.
I Show Speed escapes a witch for the second time. And this time, the witch tries to put a potion on his neck. Guys, you can't make this type of stuff up. It's live on stream. Check out this clip.
This is actually Florida water. It's what's used in voodoo to clear you off. So you spray the back of your neck, and then
Voodoo? No. You right.
Don't fuck with that, sir. We don't do that here.
We don't do that. My son loves it.
She tried to give him water that's used in voodoo. This is the second time he's dealt with a witch within 7 days. What's going on? Who's out to get this young boy? To the point where these individuals keep popping up back to back, just preying on the young. One thing I do like is how people get to see it. It's live on stream, so you get to see just how real it actually is. There's a lot of praying on the side of darkness, believe it or not. Just because they're not praying to God doesn't mean that they're not praying. Here's the thing, if they're praying, we should be praying harder. Keep young people like this in your prayers. Let the Lord cover them and protect them. Because believe it or not, the kingdom of darkness wants him bad. A young individual with that much influence, oh yeah, they want them bad. She was trying to spray water on his neck that they use in voodoo. Guys, that they use in voodoo. It's a whole potion. You understand what I'm saying? You ever seen the movies when they're stirring in those huge big black bowls? We're seeing everything play out in real time, in real life. It's wild to see, but I pray that you seeing it brings you closer to God.
So 100% complete true story from this guy named Al. Now, Al was a mechanical engineer. He got a job in Seattle, Washington. And so he moved his family outside of Tacoma. And he said they moved into this residential area that was tucked into the woods. And behind his house, he said there was like 1,000 acres of land. And he said his time living there, he had a series of strange things happen. It all started with the first thing was Al had forgotten his keys out in his car one night. And he gets ready to go outside. He yells for his dog to come with, except his dog was like scared, which was weird to Al because his dog followed him everywhere. So he's like, okay, whatever. He goes outside. Well, he said as he was walking to his car, he couldn't help but feel like someone was watching him from the woods. And he opens his car door and he starts looking for his phone. Well, he said he noticed that it was just quiet. There were no sounds at all. And he thought, that's kind of eerie. As he's searching for his phone, he starts to hear something moving behind him in the woods. It sounded like footsteps, like something was walking right behind him. So he hurries up to find his phone, and finally he gets it. He closes the door, and he said as he turned around, all of a sudden, this breeze started to kind of move through the yard. And he sees these leaves sort of moving, like almost like footsteps, and they're coming right towards him. This freaked him out. He runs inside. The second weird thing that happened to him is he was outside in his backyard doing some yard work when he said he started to hear this humming sound. And it was like, and it just kept getting louder and louder, and he could not figure out where it was coming from. The third thing that happened to him that was weird is he said him and his wife were sitting outside one night. They had a fire going, and they heard what sounded like thousands of birds squawking. And it was almost like they were flying right over them, but there wasn't a single bird in the sky. And he said that's when things start to get really terrifying. One day he happens to be in his backyard. He has a bunch of lawn clippings, and he decides to take them out into the backwoods to empty them. Well, he had been to this spot several times before, but when he gets there, he discovers someone has placed a 12-foot pole into the ground. And he's like, how in the world did this get out here? Like, there's no electrical wires, there's nothing going to it. Like, what is this pole here for? So he goes back to his house. He said, a couple weeks later after this, he's sitting inside with his wife, and this thunderstorm rolled in. They had the windows open, and they were listening to the rain hit the ground. When all of a sudden, his wife jumps up, and she says, do you hear that? And I was like, hear what? What are you talking about? She's like, you don't hear that. Like, it's a child's voice saying, help me, coming from outside. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't hear anything. And she's like, no, listen, there it is again. She's like, wait, that is our son. He's calling for help. Like, he needs our help. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, our son is asleep in bed. She's like, no, he needs our help. I'm going outside. She starts running for the front door. Al has to grab her and like wrestle with her to keep her from going outside. And then eventually he calms her down. a couple more weeks after this, right, his son does the same exact thing, except he says he hears his mother outside calling for help out in the woods. And he said, you know, this just kept happening. And the last straw, he said, for him was him and his wife went out one night. They had a babysitter at the house. As they're returning and going down the street, he said on the side of his house, he sees this 9-foot-tall, black-looking creature with solid red eyes that are glowing, standing next to the window, like it's trying to get inside the house. He said as they pulled into the driveway, this thing took off running into the woods. And he hurries up, he runs inside and like is like, is everything okay? Is everything all right? And the babysitter's like, thank goodness you got here. Like, your son is trying to run out the door because he said he thinks you're out in the woods and you need help. And so shortly after this, Al and his family moved. And he said he got this feeling, whatever this was trying to draw his son and his wife out into the woods. And he said not even a couple months after they had moved, they found 2 bodies in those woods behind the house.
I don't know what I've been breathing on a high for a long time. I had a vision from the present, wanna go inside. I'm officially dead away. I'm your future, past and present, I'm the skyline. Yeah, I'm a listening, I am not waiting, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just flow. I don't need gravity, I don't need roll. When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I won't ever fall, never stumble.
Did you know Cristiano Ronaldo sold his soul to be called the greatest soccer player in history? They say the contract had one terrifying rule. His greatness would last only as long as his career. And the moment he says stop, the payback begins. That's why he runs when others slow down, why he trains at night when the world sleeps, why he still steps onto the pitch even when younger players are already retired. Because he's not just playing for the fans, he's playing to delay the inevitable. Doctors marvel at his body. It doesn't age the way it should, but every single day is a debt. They say when he looks in the mirror, he doesn't see himself. He sees a shadow whispering, "Your time is running out." And his golden trophies don't shine with glory. They burn with the red glow of the deal. And that's why he can't walk away, because the final whistle for him isn't the end of the game. It's the beginning of payback. If you want more stories like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel right now.
This aired on TV in 2012. Keep watching.
I must appease him with the gift of a man-child. Come to me. I must feed you. I must feed you to the northwest. No, take him. No, take the baby. Take the baby. Don't eat me, baby. I'm sure the baby will be fine.
Now, even knowing this was meant as a dark comedy sketch, we can't ignore how unsettling it is. Comedy often treads a fine line. Sometimes that line is crossed. Some regions, even around the world, have banned certain types of comedy sketches, especially when they touch on touchy subjects such as religion, politics, or morality. Why? Because people are easily offended and also expose things that people don't want to see. So yes, they say it was a joke, but it wasn't a good one. Maybe what's more interesting is what made us question and what we decided to forget. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
You could say this is either a joke or a conspiracy. Keep in mind, these shows typically have writers. Somebody had to have wrote this script and put this all together. So I really think there's something a lot deeper to it. And you see this type of thing joked about a lot, which is kind of concerning because they're kind of just putting the truth in plain sight and everyone's just like, oh no, they would never do that. They're so great. Like, no, they definitely are doing that. Like, who jokes about that?
There's a theory in Fairly Odd Parents. You know Trixie's best friend, Veronica? Yeah. What about? It's like the cheerleader, right? Yeah. So take this in. Every single fairy in Fairly Odd Parents, their character design has a black pupil in their eye. Okay. Now, every other character, every other human in the show, they don't have a black pupil. Only the fairies. Now, Trixie's friend Veronica, is the only other human character that has a black pupil. So check this out. The theory is that Veronica, Trixie's friend, is actually her fairy. That's why she's always with her all the time. That's why she's always with her doing fun shit. Yeah, and it makes sense because I want to add some stuff to it.
Yeah.
Usually the people that have fairies are the most miserable, the most depressed. They're going through shit, right?
Yeah, they need it.
Yeah, and don't you think the popular girl, you hear the classic story, the popular girl is actually sad at home.
Yeah.
She's actually depressed at home because she has to deal with all of this attention and shit. And she's also quote unquote a rich girl, remember?
Yeah. Rich girls usually like
Trixie's a rich girl, and you hear the common story, rich people aren't happy.
Aren't as happy.
Old video pops up of a news reporter asking Beyonce what is her relationship to God.
What's your relationship to God? I'm sorry? What's your relationship to God?
With God? God is my everything. He created everybody, everything, and I love him, and he is the reason why I sing. Thank you.
See, that was before Beyonce was calling God Father, Mother, God. That was before her indoctrination with Jay-Z. That was back when she was actually serving the one true living God. That was back before she got involved with the Ifa religion. Back before she got involved with Oshun, with different deities. That was back before she was making sacrifices to a false altar. So yes, there was a time when Beyonce was really praying to the true God, really serving the true God. But like many different individuals, she has went astray. But different people we have talked about that went astray, when we went into prayer for them, many of them have come back. So when we show different videos of Beyonce, we don't do it to just bash Beyonce. The videos aren't shown just so that you can see the evil, but the videos are shown so that you can fight against the evil. The videos are shown so you can pray for this individual. At the end of the day, she's a falling sister. At the end of the day, she's a very, very lost soul because she has everything she wants. Yes, she's out there doing witchcraft and rituals, but I don't hate Beyonce at all. I truly pray she comes back into light. And you should too.
There's this girl, her name is Dorothy Eady. She was playing on the stairs one day and she fell down. She hurt herself so bad, like they said she died. They left her body upstairs. They all walked downstairs, but they heard noises coming from the top. She was playing with toys. She started to speak in a different voice. Like she would say that she's from a place with a lot of sand.
Continuing, I wanted to warn you guys, their phones were being spied on. Click on this icon and on more. If you see it, delete it immediately.
And one time, her parents brought her to a museum and they saw this big like picture of the pyramids of Egypt. And she went straight up to it and she told her parents, that's where I'm from, that's my home. They took the trip, they brought her to Egypt and pretty much a tour guide of the pyramids of Egypt. And she was saying, yeah, like this is my home, I know everything about this place. The tour guide said, okay, bet, let's test it. It's like, all right, if you know this place so well, take me to this spot. And she's like, yeah, it's right there, over there, come. They walked over and she was right. Oh, she goes, I know you don't know this, but there used to actually be a garden down there. And he's like, what are you talking? There's no garden, right? Fam. They ended up excavating it. They dug deep under like where they had it.
A garden?
Remnants of what used to be a garden.
I've seen a lot of stories like this in my life, and I'm not sure which ones are real or which ones are fabricated. It does kind of make you wonder why this sort of thing would happen, because there are actually accounts of people in their early stages of life recalling things from past lives that don't correlate with their actual life, because obviously they haven't lived any life yet. And honestly, it's something that your brain can't even really comprehend because it's so out there and crazy. And
so there's an experiment you could do literally right now.
Yeah.
I can give you a piece of fruit or something really, really unhealthy for you. And if you hold it in your arm and hold it up straight, the really unhealthy food, if I push down on your arm, it would be easy for me to drop your arm.
No way.
And then the other one, if you're holding, like, say, a banana or something fresh or something good for you, it will be hard for me to pull your arm down. Yeah.
Wait, we have to try that.
It's really interesting.
Wait, let's try that.
Yeah, this was all over TikTok for a while and on YouTube.
Word. Is it why is that? Because of, you know why?
So apparently it's your body telling you what it needs or what's good for you, and it just rejects something that's terrible.
Okay.
Even though
like we would want it,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily what your body would want. Like I said, your body knows.
Word. Yeah, it does. It
Mhm.
does. I was going more of not like the food aspect, but like the emotional aspect too. Like
Like it rejects a person.
yeah, like it'll reject a person when it knows like it's bad for you. You would have a weird feeling in your stomach. Or I even heard a story about a girl seeing a guy, but she always ended up sick.
Let me know your thoughts and comments below.
I suck baby's blood and put it on my face.
I eat children. How old are you? 12. Oh, okay. Only to 10.
What are you pushing into the skin? Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores. But what is it? It is an extraction of skin that came from a young person.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. The time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it. Man, you know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh, and stuff like that, make you happy and docile, so you don't know what's really going on.
Did you know an Oscar winner uncovered Hollywood's darkest secret and paid the ultimate price for it? In 2003, Adrian Brody won the Academy Award for Best Actor, but his acceptance speech contained strange coded phrases that few understood at the time. Behind the scenes, Brody had been meeting secretly with private investigator Isaac Cappy, who was researching disturbing activities in Beverly Hills mansions. What they discovered was horrifying. Medical equipment hidden in celebrity basements, extraction chairs, and refrigeration units filled with young blood. Cappy had documented evidence of A-list stars participating in ritualistic blood harvesting ceremonies at exclusive parties. The procedures were clinical and brutal. Victims were restrained while their blood was slowly drained using hospital-grade equipment. Brody found detailed records showing how the extracted blood was processed and distributed among Hollywood's elite circle. The deeper he investigated, the more horrified he became at the scope of the operation. Within months, his sources began dying under mysterious circumstances. Cappy himself was found dead near a highway bridge. Brody's career suddenly went silent. He never spoke about his discoveries again. The investigation died with his sources.
See, now this sounds crazy, but there are a lot of people that try to expose the industry and, you know, they just kind of disappear. So I feel like this is just a reoccurring thing that we need to look into. Why do these people that come out all of a sudden get labeled as crazy and get pushed off to the side and we never heard about them again? A lot of these people trying to expose the system are still within the system. So you're not going to beat the game if you're still in it.
Oh, so you're telling me that this whole time that the body could regrow teeth with just sounds? Oh, wow. Y'all have done it now. Now they are saying scientists know how to do this now. But what if they're just using ancient knowledge? You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. What if they already been practicing this and it's just now coming to the light for us to see? Got your asses. Got your asses, bro. See, the more you know about the human body, the healthier you become.
This might be the reason we're able to make flying cars, flying everything, literally levitating hoverboards, all of that shit. It's the same scientist that he took a beetle wing, he placed it on top of another beetle wing, and it like bounced off, almost as if it was a magnet. This is a real video.
Today
He just tested it.
these cells to hover over the other one. The original of this video.
Yeah, like look it up. So this is that scientist he put on top. and it floats on top. It levitates on top. Look, he's gonna do it right now. Yeah. Literally, there's no effects, no nothing. Look, you see it? It's like hovering. Look, you see it? It's hovering.
Shit.
It's literally hovering, bro.
That's wild. That's straight off, like you said, frequency, right?
There was a guy that used to live at his office too, and he used to TikTok it.
Oh yeah?
He used to live there and document it.
Really?
But he would never like show his coworkers that he was living there. He would just pretend to work really
Wow.
late. Yeah. This guy would straight up work since the morning.
Yeah.
Work, wait for everyone to leave.
Where would he
say
sleep?
bye to everybody.
Yeah.
He would sleep under his desk.
Oh, wow.
And he had one of those cubicles that were a little bit more private.
Yeah.
He had a pillow and everything.
Wow.
And he would put a schedule. Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep at this time.
Yeah.
Take a shower in the bathroom. And he would, sink shower, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or he would go to the gym across the street, shower in the 24-hour fitness or whatever.
Yeah. That's not
Come
trespassing?
back. I don't know.
I don't think so, because he works there, right?
Because he works there.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening, he started going viral.
Oh no.
So when he started going viral, his coworkers started seeing it.
Eyes are on it.
And then he got fired.
No. So now he has no money.
He has no
and
money, no place.
Holy shit.
One of the scariest videos found on the internet, and it was basically this elderly couple recording a tornado, and it was heading closer to their house, and out of nowhere it's just like, oh my.
It looks like it's not moving towards them, but it low-key is.
Oh.
Clem Schultz was capturing video of a tornado in Fairdale, Illinois. I wonder, am I dead or not? Well, you can't hurt when you're dead, and I hurt, so I'm not dead. I was spared from the tornado. My wife wasn't. It looked so calm, but then as soon as it got right there, bro, you saw how quickly it was destroying what was in front of him.
And how loud it got.
Most convincing evidence of time travel.
What happened?
So there was a guy named Sergey.
Yeah.
He spawned in Kiev in 2006, but he's actually from like the 1950s. So in 2006, when he said he spawned there, he was in all these like old clothes, like 1950s clothes, not even 2006 clothes, and all he had was his old camera, right? So the police were like, okay, this is weird as fuck. You're telling me that you're a time traveler? I need to see pieces of ID.
Yeah.
He says, go look at my photos and my camera. They're undeveloped, right? So police, they develop his camera. All they see is like some random girl and him back in Kiev in 1950. It looks like the 1950s.
Yeah.
So they're like, wait a minute, who is this girl? And then Sergey, he's like, yo, this is my girlfriend, but I haven't seen her in so long. Right?
Wait. So the guy's girlfriend? Or?
Yeah, the guy's girlfriend. So police, they were like, okay, what's that girl's name? We're gonna track her down.
Oh, so they go and look for her.
Yeah, they type in her name, they find her. She's in her 70s.
Oh shit.
Sergey is in his 20s. How did he not age?
This lady says that her son was and his body is currently on display in Vegas.
I seen this.
I guess this happened in 2012 to this guy, Christopher Eric. He was like in his 20s at the time. Apparently, bro, that same year in 2012, police ended up ruling it as they said it was a suicide because what they found in his system was cyanide. But his mother was like, no, my son would never do anything like that. I know how my son is. He would never do no shit like that. Apparently, her son's step family, she said that they are the ones who killed him. That's what she believes, because there's a lot of weird things in why she believes they had something to do with it. She was told that when her son passed, that he got She ended up finding out that there was nothing signed saying that he got or anything. And this is what was hella weird, is the signature on the receipt for the purchase was forged. It was not his handwriting. It wasn't him that signed it.
This photo is of the most dangerous man on earth, the Cincinnati Crawler. This actual photo was captured by the family back in 1974 after he had entered their home. This just gets 100 times crazier, so stick with me. In 1974, the Johnson family lived in Cincinnati. They had a nice house in the middle of the countryside. Not much went on here. It was just a very quiet, homely neighborhood. But shortly after this, some very strange things started happening. Their 14-year-old daughter would claim repeatedly she would see these eyes staring at her from outside of her window, the dead of night, peering in, staring at her. Along with most nights, the sounds of banging and footsteps, which the family just thought was rats, but it definitely wasn't rats. Until one night when their youngest son was laying in bed, ready to go to sleep. Now, every evening, the family dog would come in and sleep with this young boy. He'd jump up onto the bed and sleep. But this one night, the son felt this dog jump up onto his bed. He went down to pet it, and it definitely was not the dog. That's when he spotted this guy, like 6'7" tall man, standing at the end of his bed. After everybody spotted him, the man ran out of the house and was never seen again. No one knows what happened to this man, who is he, and what was he trying to do.
If I woke up out of my sleep and I seen this thing, I would never go back to sleep ever again. Like, what do you even do in this situation? Like, could you imagine someone breaks into your house and this is who's in your house the whole time? Yeah, I think what we learned from this one is just keep your doors locked at all times, because this thing might be in your room. I mean, I would hope not. If I turn around and that thing's behind me, I'm running.
The Philippines just got hit with a massive, massive earthquake, y'all. So I'm praying for the people in the Philippines right now, because on top of the earthquake, they are calling for a tsunami. It ain't nothing worse than having a ground shake and then water coming in right after. They are advising everybody in the Philippines to get to the highest ground possible. They said this tsunami is like 50-50, and you don't want to play with that. If they say it was 5%, I'm still going up. What? But then at the same time, you just had an earthquake that was a 7.6. So now you can't even trust the buildings. And I would say I hope people know how to swim, but in that situation with a tsunami, it doesn't even matter if you Michael Phelps. At this time, it doesn't matter where you live at. It's like these events is becoming more and more normal. We've been seeing tsunamis, earthquakes, fires, floods, you name it. This just happened not too long ago. So I will keep y'all updated, because I know it's going to be some crazy videos. Hey, everybody pray for them people in the Philippines.
To talk about
angels, it makes you think, are these the same people that are controlling the world today?
Do they talk about how it happens?
How does one get possessed? Playing with demonic things, Ouija boards, going to a psychic, tarot cards, or actual occult worship of the devil. Those are pretty much immediate open doors that you're gonna have demons come right in.
Psychics are demonic.
They're not channeling your dead relatives. When somebody says, well, the psychic told me my mother shared this with me when I was 10, and nobody ever knew that but us. So it has to be my mom, except for the demons in the room who also heard it. And now they're impersonating your mother. If your mother's in heaven, she's having a good day. She doesn't want to come back and visit you. If she's in purgatory, she needs our prayers to get her moved into heaven. And if she's in hell, there's no getting out. It's not your mother.
I feel like this is the aspect that a lot of people forget. When you're talking about certain things, when you go through certain experiences, there are a lot more things listening to you than you realize. So if something happens that seems like a coincidence or something related to a person you know, so if something like this occurs in your life, it's most likely something evil just trying to mimic whatever's going to get to you the most, because that's the type of manipulation that is needed in order to get to you. You know, it's not going to come off as evil and scary. It's going to use the things that are closest to you to get through to you. And then when it gets close enough, that's when you're going to start to notice that it's it's not actually what you think it is. But y'all just stay blessed and stay safe, and don't surround yourself with any negative energy. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but you never know.
In 1958, Washington University ran this study where they basically asked the American people, hey, do you want to send in your child's baby teeth, and it'll go for like research for like help better improve the medical industry, all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, that's cool, right?
Wrong. No, that immediately red flag.
It was a front, a public front for something called Project Sunshine.
Excuse me?
It was started by the Atomic Energy Commission along with the DoD, Department of Defense, better known as body snatchers.
They were taking kids?
At this time, during the 50s, they were just lighting off all these nuclear bombs all over the place. They wanted to observe this one compound, strontium-90. It's this compound that is absorbed into the body from nuclear fallout. And what they wanted to do is like, how is this affecting people all over the earth? And so the Atomic Energy Commission, along with the DoD, basically did this whole undercover thing. So they went to hospitals, scientists, and they were literally grave robbing children, testing their bones and seeing whether or not they had this strontium-90 compound in their bones. But they would literally, like if a child died during birth or whatever, they would literally team up with these doctors and they would steal ribs, femur bones, and never tell the parents. This is what America was doing. The conclusion was like they actually had a large amount of this compound or this particle from nuclear fallout.
That's crazy.
The Atomic Energy Commission never publicly admitted they were taking bones from children until declassified documents surfaced in the 1990s.
So they got caught.
Yeah.
Golly. There is a thing about a guy who used to work in the Navy in the 70s.
Uh-oh.
They place an acoustic sensor device all throughout the ocean floor in the certain areas. This was to map the ocean floor, detect submarines, and find other anomalies and stuff. It says one of the contacts while in the Navy who worked on the ASW team who was responsible for monitoring the sensors and everything. They would discuss underwater submersible objects that detected that would travel at thousands of miles per hour underwater.
What are you talking about?
He said they also have detected various structures underwater that are active and that they stay clear of. And so those might be like volcanoes or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But they're detecting actual anomalies
This came out
underwater.
recently?
This is a report from a guy that worked in the Navy in the 1970s.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was in the 70s? They were tracking this stuff?
When they placed the sensor devices in on the ocean floor.
That is so
Yeah.
cool.
So,
you know how you get stoked about space?
Yeah.
I get stoked about the ocean.
Well, those are probably like alien stuff, though.
Yes!
Oh.
They're meeting.
Dude, the ocean freaks me out way more than space. You guys ever hear about the lost library of Nineveh?
No, I have not.
So Ashurbanipal was the last great king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, ruling from Nineveh from 668 to 627 BC. And this dude obsessed with understanding everything. And so he founded this library in Nineveh, which wasn't discovered until the mid-19th century by a British archaeologist, Austin Henry Layard. And he found over 30,000 tablets.
Jeez.
And that's where we found the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh, wow.
But what's fascinating is that the stuff that they did find rewrote a lot of Middle Eastern history, because they talked about old war campaigns, kings that no one has ever heard of.
Wow.
But then there are thousands of these tablets talking about advanced astrology that in today's standards is still very advanced.
That's amazing.
And what's creepy, Ashurbanipal, he said that he claimed to possess access to knowledge from before the flood, suggesting he may have been aware of ancient, perhaps lost or suppressed knowledge.
The Watchers?
I mean,
golly, dude.
Did you know that over 1,000 people a year disappear from Yellowstone National Park? And most of them are never found. Now, this story comes out of Yellowstone. There was this man named Jeff. Jeff said every year him and his father would go camping at Yellowstone National Park. And this one particular summer, they decided to go for the weekend. Now, they had found a new spot that was pretty remote, and this was their first time camping in this area. So they set up their campsite, they get a good fire going, and they started to tell scary stories. After a while, Jeff started getting tired, and he tells his dad, like, I'm going to go in the tent and lay down. So he goes into the tent, and he falls asleep. Well, a couple hours later, he wakes up to his father, who is screaming and having, like, some kind of nightmare. And he's like, Dad, are you okay? And his dad is just, help me. And he said, he just was like, okay, he must be having a bad nightmare. So he managed to just ignore him and eventually fall back asleep. But shortly after that, he wakes up again and he has like this really bad feeling, like something is wrong, and he just couldn't seem to shake it. So he unzips the tent, he goes outside and starts using the restroom, when all of a sudden he hears his father's voice clearly say, Jeff, come over here. come into the woods. And he's like, Dad, like, what are you doing out of the tent? And he's like, Jeff, come on, come into the woods, Jeff. Jeff, come here. And he's like, okay. So he starts walking into the woods. And he's like, Dad, where are you? Where are you? And he just hears his dad say, come a little closer, Jeff. Come a little closer. And that's when he noticed it just got really, really quiet. And all of a sudden, he hears a clapping sound. Then he hears it again. Then he hears it a third time. And out of the corner of his eye, he sees the shadow of something kind of zigzagging between the trees. And then, right in front of him, he sees this deer. Except this deer is standing on its hind legs like a person. It has antlers, you know, it has all the features of a deer. But it has these glowing yellow eyes. And it is talking in his father's voice. So Jeff frantically runs back to the tent, and when he unzips it, he is shocked to find his father is not in there. So he starts yelling for his father, looking all around. And that's when he sees truck lights, and he sees his father's truck. And he realizes his father was not in the tent. He must have left and went somewhere. So he runs up to his father and is like freaked out, tells him what happened. And his father was like, you know, after you fell asleep, I went over to this other people's campsite and I was hanging out with them for a while. And then I was coming back to go to bed. But he can see that Jeff is visibly shaken. So he says, you know what, let's just go ahead and leave. Well, as they were making their way out of the Yellowstone Park, he said they happened to overhear some people at the visitor center talking about someone had went missing. And what was eerie is he was very similar in age and look to Jeff. Now, this next story also comes out of Yellowstone. There was this geologist, and he was tasked with going to this particular region of Yellowstone in the southeast corner that is pretty remote and rarely visited. And there has not been a lot of people doing research in this area. So he happens to go there for like 3 days to do some kind of research. So he had set up his campsite and he was making dinner when all of a sudden he started to hear like a humming sound. And he said it was just kind of buzzing in his head, and it was just like very repetitive. And he couldn't figure out like where would that be coming from, because there's nothing out here. It's just woods everywhere. So he started walking in the direction of this humming sound, and he could hear it getting louder and louder. And that's when he runs right into this like 8-foot tall fence, and it goes down all the way on both sides. And he's like, you know, why is there this huge fence out in the middle of the forest? Like what is behind here? So he manages to find a spot where he could get in underneath the fence, and he crawls into this area. He starts walking around for a little bit, and he could hear the humming sound getting louder and louder. And that's when he came out to sort of this clearing, and he said he couldn't believe his eyes. There was this pyramid-like rock structure with some kind of entrance, and there were these very tall men coming out of it. And he said, you know, they were just tall, gray, you know, very long arms, very long heads, is the way he described it. And he said they noticed him, and he started to panic. But then all of a sudden he heard a voice in his head say, do not be afraid. And he just instantly like felt peace overcome him. And he said, then it said, you are not ready to know what we know. You need to leave. And so he turned and he left, and he went back under the fence and he got out of there. So he leaves his campsite and he goes to like the nearest ranger station. And he starts telling them, like, there's something out there, like, I don't know what's happening, but there's like this fenced in area. And all the rangers are kind of like, yeah, you know, this guy's losing it. So as he leaves the ranger station, one of the rangers runs up to him and is like, hey, don't tell anyone, but I believe you. There is a lot of weird stuff that goes on here that we don't really talk about. But you did see something, and something happened.
Ice Spice was seen cozying up to Michelle Lamy at a recent fashion show. For anyone who knows anything about Hollywood, you know that this lady is only going to be next to people who are going to skyrocket. And some people have been saying that Ice Spice looked uncomfortable sitting next to Michelle, but when you take a look at this picture, you can see there's nothing uncomfortable about this interaction. They're fairly close. Mind you, this is the same Ice Spice who did these hand symbols at the Super Bowl. And I also found this video of her backstage with somebody who's praying, and look at her reaction and watch to the end of the video. It is unbelievable.
Together right now with this amazing stream and our amazing teams, Lord. We are all from the same place, and we are all trying to get to the same place, which is the top. And we all want to experience different things in our lives, chat. So thank you so much for bringing all of us together. And I pray that you allow us to grow on other people, on each other, and I pray that you allow us to reach any measures in his life, and you just watch over us daily. You bless us. You allow us to bless other people with our work and our amazing craft, and you help us enjoy this night. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen.
So you really think it's a coincidence that she is one of the biggest names in female rap right now, period. She also is palling around with Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl and doing all that stuff. Now we see her palling around with Michelle Lamy at a fashion show. And she quite literally was laughing, making faces, and making a mockery of what that guy was saying in that last clip. She even makes sure to throw in the symbol at the end, if you know, you know. Wake up.
She makes it so obvious what she's trying to represent. And I know the symbolism and stuff like that can kind of be looked at as a conspiracy and just something that's read out of context. But when it comes to somebody trying to pray for her and this is how she acts, that's very strange. Even if that isn't your thing, disrespecting someone while they're praying for you is probably one of the worst things you could do. And it just kind of shows where your morals are at. And that says everything we need to know about her. You know, it's just sad because these people have a lot of influence and the people that they could reach with this bad message is not very good.
You know that's the incident when Wendy Williams fell?
Yeah.
So remember when I was talking about how she was talking Beyonce before, right? And this is going on for months and months that she's been shit talking Beyonce. Because there was one I didn't know about. So in one of her gossip episodes, she starts it off with someone's jealous of Adele, and then she goes, "It's Beyonce."
So Wendy Williams.
Yeah, so Wendy Williams is saying all this stuff about Beyonce, right?
Yeah.
A month later, what happens? She finally fell. And then, you know what's crazy? I don't know if it's Beyonce or
she's sick now.
No, the industry, they're trying to put it on dementia. Fam, on the Wikipedia, you know how when you search up celebrity health stuff, you actually have to go deep and search it. On her Wikipedia, and when you search up Wendy Williams, everywhere, she has dementia. Just because it's they're trying to discredit her from all her sayings.
This is a pretty common thing with the industry. A lot of celebrities that try to speak out against people, something mysteriously happens to them and then they're getting pushed off as either crazy, they're ill, or they hurt themselves. You know what I'm saying? They just try to discredit them in any way, shape, or form. And that's kind of a sign that they may be trying to expose something that we should know about.
It's a crazy story. This Mexican pilot was flying. In the middle of his flying, he fell asleep and he woke up and he was over the ocean. What they're saying, and there's a recording of this, is that this guy went into a trance and was channeling some alien intelligence that was explaining through this guy's voice the human race is the only intelligent race in the universe that still uses war, and that they have to stop doing this or that someone's going to step in. He is speaking, but he does not know. The equipment is too primitive. This is the only way to convey. We use it as a microphone. No matter who we are or where we come from, it is enough for you to know that we are beings of this universe where you belong. Our planet is many light years away, but we are physically equal. I repeat that all races in the universe are physically equal. You are not alone in the universe, and there are other races that are far away from you, and we are watching you.
When I first started studying autism, which was back in 1986, 1987, it was only about 1 in 10,000 children, and now it's 1 in 30. Everything from an increased C-section rate, ultrasound during pregnancy, changes in the diet, which change the microbiome, which we know plays a huge role in neurotransmitters, Wi-Fi and various electromagnetic fields that are not natural to the earth. When babies are born, there's tens of thousands of chemicals in the umbilical blood. The placenta does not filter out chemicals. It actually concentrates them in the fetus. The use of glyphosate in so much of our agriculture, that's a known toxin. It's no putting the genie back in the bottle. What we need to do is we need to find ways in which we can optimize our health.
So it's not overdiagnosis?
No, it's definitely not overdiagnosis.
Have you guys ever heard about the Pyramid of the Sun in Bosnia? This archaeologist man was looking at this mountain and it had perfectly 4 sides. And he's like, that kind of looks like a pyramid. And so he started doing excavations and stuff.
Yeah.
He found these giant stones perfectly stacked. In the middle of these blocks was geopolymer, which is an ancient cement. This pyramid was built based off carbon dating 35,000 years ago. The Great Pyramid, 7,000. This is where it gets really weird. He got shut down because Zahi Hawass, the lead Egyptologist in Egypt, pleaded with the Bosnian government saying, don't let him look into this any further.
Weird.
And so the Bosnian government's like, you can't go dig up anymore. The whole story just got swept under the rug. And then over 50 archaeologists came out to observe it themselves. And they're like, this is a pyramid. If you get a satellite image of this place, there's 2 other mountains that have a pyramid shape to them. It's just so weird that every single culture had a giant pyramid.
There was this man named Jonathan. Now, Jonathan said when he was younger, he would go and visit his grandfather who lived in Louisiana on the bayou. Now, his grandfather had lived his whole life right on this sort of waterway that was known to be haunted. Now, he said this particular summer, he went to his grandfather's house and he was going to stay for a week. So he gets to his grandfather's house and his grandfather greets him and is so excited. And he's like, welcome, Jonathan, come on in and let me get you something to eat. Well, the first thing he noticed when he goes into his grandfather's house is there is this stench of something that is rotting. So he says, grandfather, like, what is that smell? Like, why does it smell like, something is rotting? And his grandfather says, oh, it's nothing, don't worry. So he thinks, oh, that was kind of odd. He also noticed one of the rooms in the house was like boarded up. And he said, grandfather, why do you have that door closed? And he goes, oh, I'm doing some repairs in that room. I just didn't want you to go in there and get hurt. So they start, talking, having a good time. And then nightfall came. And Jonathan said as soon as it got dark, his grandfather started getting really anxious and antsy. And his grandfather told him, I want you to go in your bedroom and you lock the door and go to bed. And he's like, but grandfather, I thought we could stay up late and, tell stories and stuff. And his grandfather's like, no, go into your bedroom and lock the door. So he goes into the bedroom and he notices that his grandfather has put, this deadbolt lock on the door. So he locks the door and he lays down. Later that night, he hears kind of like a very loud ruckus coming from outside the room. And then he hears the front door open. And after that, everything was quiet. He goes to bed. The next morning, his grandfather comes inside the door and he's like, grandfather, where were you last night? And he said, oh, nowhere. It's okay. Everything's all right. Like, don't worry. And he said, well, why were you so nervous last night and made me lock my door? And his grandfather said, oh, just precautionary. So he said, every night he was there at his grandfather's, his grandfather would leave in the middle of the night and then come back in the morning. Well, the last day he is there, he goes into the bedroom, locks the door for the night, and he starts hearing that sound, like a ruckus sound coming from outside the room. This time, however, he unlocks his door, he goes out of the room. And over in the kitchen, he can see someone moving around kind of really violently, and he hears all of these weird kind of gurgling sounds. And when he gets a better look at what is in this kitchen, he said it was this, muscular middle-aged man, but he had the face of what looked like a wolf. And he said this thing just noticed him and it started growling at him and snarling. It walks towards him and then grabs him by the arm. And the only thing Jonathan could think of at the time was to bite the arm of whatever this was. So he bites the arm of whatever this was and he runs into his bedroom and he locks the door. The next morning, he hears the front door open and he thinks, oh, my grandfather's home. He opens the door and he sees his grandfather coming inside. He is completely disheveled. He's not wearing a shirt. And he notices he has this bandage wrapped around his arm in the same exact spot of where he had bit that thing that he encountered the night before. So he knew at that moment that what he seen was his grandfather. And he said he believes to this day that he's seen what is known as the Rougarou.
Some ain't adding up. Why is Suge Knight acting like he's driving somewhere? Why does Tupac look worried? And check out the date. I thought Tupac was unalived on the 7th, not the 8th. There's a lot of strange things in this photo, and this is a viral photo, by the way. What do I mean by strange? So if Suge Knight's driving, how come the keys aren't in the ignition? Why would he pretend like he's driving? I smell setup. And this is for educational purposes only. Watch the video until the end, comment below, and share this video with someone you love, care, and respect. They also said Suge Knight went to the hospital because he got glass from his head from the you-know-what. I'm gonna play this video of this lady talking, and you tell me if any of this makes sense to you.
Gunshots, so we didn't really know exactly what we heard. We heard a lot of screaming, a lot of cars screeching. We were just hanging out, taking photos at the time. We ran up the street as cops were running past us, and by the time we got here, they were already taking, which now I found out was Tupac, into the helicopter away. He had been shot.
I feel like it's pretty obvious that the people around Tupac were the same people involved in the passing of him. You know, there's a lot of things that are just very off about the situation and don't really make sense and only lead back to them. The only reason the truth hasn't been exposed is because a lot of the people involved in the situation are still alive. Typically, they wait for after these people to pass away so that nothing happens to them, because obviously this could affect their families, this could affect their legacy, this could affect their money, so they don't want this type of stuff to come out. They have a lot of power and a lot of influence, so...
What's the first thing that come to y'all mind when y'all seen these three people together? I don't know about y'all, but this is a scary sight. And it's not even the fact that it's these three together. It's about what these three together were talking about. Someone caught them on a hot mic, y'all. And the shit that they was saying had me like, what the fuck? I know y'all probably like, oh, he talking about war talk? No, it's not even that, y'all. They got caught talking about organ transplants and achieving immortality. Think about how wild this is, y'all. Three of the most powerful men in the world were whispering about how they can live younger and maybe even forever. Some people can't even afford the basic health care. Y'all gotta ask yourself, if they could be comfortable joking about living to 150 years, best believe they already probably got some labs up. They probably already doing experiments. They probably already dumped $1 billion into some shit somewhere in the dark. You never know. Now here's the scary part, y'all. Immortality is not just about living forever. Imagine these billionaires, imagine the elites are capable of living forever. Who's gonna make these rules? Who's gonna have all the power? They're gonna run every single thing. I know it's people sitting there laughing like, oh, they was just playing. That was just an inside joke. But you and me know, they don't just do that shit and let it just slip out of nowhere, y'all. Everything be planned, fool. So maybe, y'all, just maybe this wasn't an accident. Maybe this was meant to happen. They probably just showing us a glimpse of what's to come. So if you had the opportunity to live forever, would you want to?
So I don't know if you heard the story about Otto Warmbier.
No.
Oh my god. This is the reason why you don't steal in Korea. And he almost got away. He's a college student in America, and he went there to like do adventure groups. So he would like link up with Korean children, I think, and just do like adventures with them. So trip was going blessed. He goes into the airport and he gets stopped. And he's like, why? Like, I did my due diligence in this country. Like, I'm about to go home. They said, let me see your backpack. Bam. He stole like a propaganda picture, and this was an NK. And I mean, North Korea, they don't play around like that, right? So what they did, they literally put him in handcuffs and they brought him to like a court right away. And they broadcasted his whole confession because they wanted him to look in the camera on live national television and say what he did.
Damn.
Like, it was really humiliation. He was like crying.
Is he still alive?
No, look, like, I'll tell you.
Please, I have made the worst mistake of my life.
Fam, after that meeting, right, it was an hour of him confessing. They said, okay, for you to go, we need 17 years of hard labor in Korea before you dip.
So that's what he's doing to this day.
No. Plot twist now.
What happened?
Plot twist. He does 17 months of work. He goes under a coma under unknown circumstances.
Oh my god.
Then mans in Korea say, oh, you're allowed to go back. You're allowed to fly back to your country now because you're in a coma. Boom, he gets back to his country. The doctors say he's in a vegetative state. Like, he's almost about to die. Bam, he gets back to the US. 3 days after, passes away.
This has got to be one of the most embarrassing things ever. Could you imagine you stole and they put you on the news and just violated you in front of everybody? I feel like this might actually teach people to stop committing crimes, but then again, I feel like a lot of people don't care and they would actually enjoy the attention. And, you know, I could understand trying to make an example so people don't come into your country and think that they could just steal whatever. But the punishment they gave him was definitely not right. And they definitely were involved in the passing of him because all of a sudden he's involved with them. And now look at him, he's in a vegetable state and he just passes away after they send him back. With the way this story works out, that just does not add up to me. But you guys let me know what you think.
Talk about this earthquake that could destroy all of California. We're calling it the big one. But they're saying the cascading subjection zone, and they said it's about to go off.
Really?
But they're saying that when it goes off, it will be a 9.0 or higher.
Oh my gosh.
It's 4 minutes of continuous shaking.
Dude, that's just destroying a whole city.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In 1994, the LA earthquake that happened, that was a 6.7 magnitude, but it caused over $50 billion in damage. It destroyed LA.
Dude, a 9.0 that's thousands of deaths.
Animals would be able to pick up on it 90 seconds before it happened.
Cool.
So they're saying all along the West Coast, and we're talking about massive tsunamis because it's in the ocean. People along the West Coast, they would have about 10 to 30 minutes to reach higher elevation before this giant wall of water just came.
That's so terrifying.
So everyone on the West Coast,
we're so sorry.
They're saying the one plate, instead of it like getting bound up, it's literally folding over on itself. It'll just be like a big pow.
Oh my gosh.
So it's literally just like building all this tension.
That's called potential energy, and then when it moves, it's kinetic.
Michelle Lamy is a very popular lady to be around. She was just with Ice Spice recently. And she was with A$AP Rocky, smiling, taking pictures. They must be best friends. Can't forget about Kanye. She be chilling with all the poppin' celebrities. And she doesn't even have a song out. Look, she's chilling with Kim K too. This lady's popping. Can't forget about Cardi. She was chilling with Cardi too. She be chilling with everybody. She's in every room with all the biggest stars. Michelle, you're one popular lady. Because down in HW, nothing goes down without Michelle Lamy. Why? Because she paid her dues. She paid her dues. Mind you guys, she's in her 80s. And she seems to have more friends than me. Kanye knows. Travis Scott knows. Did you see that picture they took? Was Travis Scott laying down in a room? That picture was... Shut up! That was wild. But of course, it was just art. It was just art. Entertainment purposes only. I'm just letting everybody know how popular Michelle Lamy is. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about this. I'm out.
Even just being in a room with this lady says a lot about you because she openly worships the devil. Like, so you surrounding yourself with her and spending time with her just kind of says what you are involved in as well and what your beliefs are. Because I feel like if that's not something you're into, you would stay far away from that. But you see a lot of these people around her laughing, smiling in videos with her. It's just really pretty disturbing. But you just got to keep an eye out because there's a lot of evil people right in front of our faces.
So the Acambora artifacts were discovered in Mexico in 1994. They consisted of 33,000 artifacts found. And the carbon date put them back 6,500 years ago, which would have been 4,500 BC.
Jeez.
And these artifacts were so strange, and I've never heard of them, probably because the story's trying to get swamped over by the Smithsonian. But these artifacts, they consisted of like stone and clay, like figurines and stuff of like dinosaurs.
Oh.
And like there was one figurine of a warrior riding a triceratops.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
And then they had other figurines of like mermaids, human animal hybrids. They even had one that looked like Bigfoot and like just this crazy stuff that like totally messes with the whole narrative that humans interacted with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Because there's a man riding a dinosaur.
The timeline is scrambled.
And so it was authenticated by 3 men in the profession that were like, they knew what they were looking at and what they were talking about. But then the Smithsonian, like, nope, this is all, it's a fraud. None of these are real. And they said, we're going to carbon date it ourselves. And they did. And they're like, these are only 30 years old.
Do you guys hear about the depression brain chip? So a man who had severe depression for more than 3 decades appears to have gone into remission thanks to a bespoke brain pacemaker that selectively activates different areas of the brain. It was this experimental thing to where they literally put a brain chip in this person's brain and electrically activate the part of your brain that brings joy.
I don't know how I like that.
I don't know either. What it got me
Just
thinking
get this
about
guy on
is
a
like,
jet ski, dude. Come on. What are we doing?
To me, that was freaky.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's cool. Feeling joy for the first time in 30 years is insane.
Amazing.
But at the same time, how you can take something and with this talk of all these brain chips, you can affect emotions now based off of something that you implant in your brain.
Yeah, and there's just the implications of that. Like, what other emotions can they control?
It makes me think of Kingsman.
Yeah.
That signal to where it makes everyone angry and want to kill each other.
It's such a slippery slope because then they control whatever emotions. And I mean, one day that'll be remotely operated or something.
It's It's interesting when you think, though, about a lot of those antidepressants. They're like dopamine regulators and stuff like that. And so they're doing like a physical medical solution to it. But then it begs the question, like, where do you draw the moral line? Like, I'm a doom scroller. I'll get caught for hours. And that's a dopamine feed.
Yeah.
And so, like, the morality of, like, I'm regulating my dopamine by watching YouTube, you know, for hours on end. At, like, what point, where in this conversation do we draw the line and say, this is good, this is not?
No, you're right.
Do you remember a show, To Catch a Predator?
I remember with Chris Hansen.
There's like a dark reason why the show was completely cut off air. In fall of 2007, the team that helped catch these predators, they had set up a decoy account on MySpace, posing as a 13-year-old boy. Quickly, obviously, somebody took the bait. It was this guy who was claiming to be a 19-year-old college student. And then after them doing more digging, the guy wasn't 19 years old. He was way older than that. He was in his 50s, Louis Condrad. He worked as a district attorney in Texas. So, like, he was heavily known in, like, the law enforcement.
Hey, Will, this is Luke. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
What are you doing?
Nothing. What's going on?
That's a decoy speaking right now.
Nothing much.
Those pictures that you sent, those were pretty hot.
Oh, did you like them?
Yeah, I sure did. You have any more?
What did you like?
After a while of Louis just completely like stopped messaging back, he deleted a lot of stuff that he had on his MySpace account. So now Chris Hansen and the team were kind of stuck in a situation where like, we know this piece is a but like we can't do nothing about it if he's not gonna come to this house so we could catch him. So they brought the sting operation to him.
Nah, I could already tell this is gonna go wrong, bro.
The police crew, they rush to the house, call him first. No answer. Then they knock on the door multiple times and nothing. And this went on for like a couple hours, and eventually I believe one of like the head polices, they end up calling the SWAT team. They surround the house and eventually they end up barging inside the house. But while they're focusing on Chris Hansen inside, Louis, he says, I'm not gonna hurt anybody, while holding a pistol. So then he ends up shooting himself. After that basically marked the end of To Catch a Predator. NBC, they were sued by Lewis's sister.
Why the fuck did they get sued?
It says that they will be targeting American citizens, not just in Los Cabos, but in any other tourist city or towns across Mexico. Since the United States government has been cracking down on every single one of their shipments, every single one of their connections, as they are continually trying to traffic illegal substances into our country, now, according to the cartel, it will be an all-out war. And I know some of you may take this as a grain of salt, like, well, you know, whatever, you know, maybe in certain areas. You can never underestimate this type of group, this type of faction in Mexico, because they have a track record. And now that their money, now that their funds are being affected by the United States cracking down on illegal substances, now you and I may potentially become those targets. And a way that you can help spread this message is not just liking and commenting, but share it with every single person you know, because you do not need to be caught up in the mess that is going on between our country and theirs.
This is the second time we've seen this, so I think it's safe to say we should stay home, because I'm not trying to get cut up in pieces and served on the McDonald's dollar menu. Yeah. So just stay home.
Marilyn Manson is finally getting exposed for all of the demonic works that he's done, okay? There's a woman who is going to give a testimony about some of the heinous things that she had to endure by Marilyn Manson. Not only her, but other people too. And not only that, you're going to hear out of Marilyn Manson's own mouth how he disrespects God and the Bible, and also how he's trying to effectively pursue the will of Satan in this world, okay? I do think that this is one of the most demonic people in the music industry, and after this video you're going to see why. Okay, before we hop into this video, do me a quick favor, hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and hop in.
Can we take a minute to talk about what's really going on with Marilyn Manson? Because behind all the makeup, theatrics, sold-out arenas is a decades-long pattern of exploitation and abuse, and he's still walking free. Remember Bianca Elaine Kind? In 1995, she was just 16 and invited onto his tour bus after a concert. But then she was laughed at and threatened with death if she ever spoke up. And it wasn't a one-off. He's been accused of targeting minors who trusted him at his shows. Then there were all those crew members, security guards, who say he hurled mic stands at them, forced their heads into his gyrating, and even pled no contest to felony sexual conduct in 2001. Evan Rachel Wood, the famous actress, had the courage to testify before the California State Senate about the abuse she experienced, beatings, electric shocks with a violet wand, and the way he tied her up to prove her loyalty. That occurred while she was in a relationship with him from 2007 to 2010. And let's not forget Esme and Bianco's horror stories of being chased with an axe, starved, drugged, and tortured, or Ashley Walters being forced awake for 48 hours straight, whipped and shoved into walls. Every time a survivor stepped forward, Manson quietly settled or paid a fine. And he kept his stage lights on. So come on, this isn't just rock star drama.
This man is a monster. He's a complete monster, okay? And when you hear him talk, and you don't even have to be in the same room as him to see and to even feel the demonic presence that lives inside of him. It's real. But first, I want to show you guys this video of a woman who details exactly what took place between her and Marilyn Manson and how this affected her in her life, okay? This is crazy, but this lets us know that some of these people in the music industry are extremely, extremely demonic and evil, and they love to do this stuff. All right, let's check this out. Let's go ahead and hop in.
In 2021, you went public about the abuse you endured by Brian Warner. Most people know Brian as Marilyn Manson. How were you first introduced to Marilyn Manson?
I actually met him after a concert. He just had like a meet and greet afterward. About half of the band left. And then the two stayed on the bus were Jordy White and Brian Warner. And they were the ones most interested in the little girls. And he was 26, by the way, and I had just turned 16. The other girls are 13 and 14. Not only is this my favorite band, but now I met them, they're paying attention to me, and I'm like, finally, I found my people.
But you must have felt really special.
I did.
Yeah, I could totally see that. So what happened next?
This is where it gets hard.
It's okay, take your time.
So of course, I'm thinking like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I always blame myself because I liked him. He had the 14-year-old girl braces on his lap, playing with her hair, and it's just really disgusting when I say these things out loud because she's 14.
Right.
He was doing gross things. He was like taking her hand, putting those. It progressed. That was the first time that I'd ever had intercourse, so it was just weird. Not at all what I wanted or expected. I didn't want to say no because I was more afraid that he wouldn't like me anymore, that he wouldn't.
No, it makes perfect sense. I understand that grooming, and I understand when someone has assaulted you, but is also giving you that type of love and attention and adoration that you've never experienced before and you weren't getting at home.
Yeah.
That's also what he's picking up on and playing on with you. How did you guys leave?
Honestly, it was horrifying because after it was finished, he told me to get the of his bus, and if I told anyone, he would me and my family, and he pointed right. And I knew exactly what he meant, and I was just like,
I think we need to lock him up and throw away the key. I've heard about this dude growing up, and he looked terrifying, so I never really paid much attention to it. And growing up, anytime I have heard about him, it's always been kind of negative. It's never been positive, and I can obviously see why now. But this is just a reminder to be careful who you support, because you never know what kind of activities they're participating in on the side, and this is a really bad side hobby.
Let's talk about Will Ferrell. I found two disturbing skits from two separate shows that just happened to involve Will Ferrell. Roll the first.
Hey, come on down. Sit down my head. Original child clown out. I'm the original child clown out. Clown out, clown out, clown out. Yeah!
He's quite literally, get this guys, making a joke about stealing children, we'll say. The end of the clip is even more disturbing.
Hey, this is Gabriel. Hey, I made him. He's fresh. Oh, I'm having a good time right now. I'm gonna have to bury him in the back if he keeps acting like this. Hey, I'm the original child clown man, right from the back.
The second clip is another skit, which I found equally as disturbing. Roll it.
Now the subject shall bathe in the blood of a gifted turtle. This will make your show irresistible to viewers. It will be like one of those live NBC musicals that makes everyone lose their goddamn mind.
Again, this is being presented as satire, but what you're looking at seems to be a ritual. We also just so happen to have this in the background, if you know, you know. Last part of the clip is even more disturbing. I'll still have people who say it's just entertainment, it's one big joke. I'm sure it can't be them putting the truth right in front of our faces, right?
Bro, Will Ferrell does not have one movie where he needs to be doing all this, bro. Like, what is going on? Last time I seen him, he was like some jolly elf in a movie. Now this, like, bro,
You want to hear something really fascinating?
Sure. There's this lake in Russia called Lake Baikal, the deepest freshwater lake on Earth, over 5,000 feet deep. In 1982, there was these Soviet divers who were doing these diving routines or whatever in the lake. They're down 50 meters, 164 feet down. Out of the depths, there were these 6 humanoid creatures, 9 feet tall, and so they tried to catch one of them, and then like all these things did something and shot all these divers up to the surface. 3 of them ended up dying.
Oh my gosh.
The Soviet Union did not want anyone to know what they saw. There's reports even today of craft coming out of the lake, and also people constantly disappearing around the lake, which would make sense. It's a huge lake. I mean, ginormous. And it's in Siberia. It's very remote.
Oh, fuck no. Y'all gonna have to see this clip. This shit wild as fuck, fool. Make sure you like and share. Trump top advisor named Stephen Miller was on CNN talking about the National Guard situation. And he was talking real confident, y'all. Real calm. When he said some wild shit. This man said that Trump has plenary authority. That basically means he has complete and absolute power and control. And once he said that shit, y'all, he knew he fucked up. He like, damn. This man froze, y'all. He tried to play the mannequin challenge. But he was still blinking. Y'all, look at this shit.
Insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling? Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority. Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue.
Nah, that wasn't no technical issue. Fool just know he said some crazy shit. He exposed it, y'all. The truth is out the bag. Y'all heard it for yourself. That's why he fucking froze like that man was stuck in the Matrix. Every time somebody of power say some shit out their mouth like this, it's always one or two things. They either get cut off the air or they start glitching like him. This man real life said plenary authority. That's not just a fancy word, y'all. That means no checks, there's no limit, and full control. That's the kind of phrase you only hear from a dictatorship, y'all. And after that silence, nobody brought it up again. Nobody even talked about it. Y'all let me know, was that a glitch or was that a warning? Because one thing for sure, y'all, after he froze, after he said what he said, that looked like that man was just like, damn, I said too much.
What if in the future, if there's so many people with that headset, that Apple headset, there will be a cyber attack or even a virus that nobody knows that attacks it, and every single user of that headset will be slightly brainwashed.
Oh shit! Why? Because it'd be like little things.
There's little things. There's little things. Whether it be with audio, whether it be with what they show you on screen, the frequency of it. And then check this out. And then one day, nobody will know why, but you'll just see in a huge sea of people, there will be a tick. There'll be a signal, and everyone in there will snap.
Yeah.
Not because of anything else, but being brainwashed slowly through this headset.
Fam, we laughed at the idea of the iPhone. People are laughing at the people with VRs, but what did it turn out to be? We're addicted to our phones now. You know what I mean? I feel like, it's scary.
It's pretty easy to get addicted to the VR. I could see people like living there their whole life because I had it, right? But I'm just the type of person, like I'm not a gamer anyway, so I don't really spend too much time on it.
I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if something like this were to happen. I feel like there's always a strategic agenda behind everything that's being put out, like especially our phones. Like, notice how so many people are trapped to their phones and can't escape the addiction. That's what they wanted this whole time. So, and I feel like them putting this product out was kind of sort of a test to see how many people were really going to fall for it. If we kind of go down this path, it's just going to get worse for us. So we may as well just kind of stick where we're at. And
recently there's a video. This is like the realest, most clearest footage of UFO.
Of a UFO.
And it's in Mexico. It's clear as day. And it makes the sky light up too.
Yeah, whenever there's aliens, there's always beams.
This is like last week. Just happened. See?
Oh,
and it's very clear.
Yeah.
People are wondering, oh, that's a UFO.
That can't be anything else.
But check this out. It's not.
What is it?
Yo, what it actually is, that style of military plane has been a patent for a long time. That may very well be just a military hovercraft. He just got caught slipping.
So why do you think they put these up there though?
Everything is like a test, right?
That makes sense.
If they're not testing their equipment, yo, a good military hovercraft, we shouldn't be able to detect it.
Exactly.
Because if we can detect it,
then
it didn't drop it.
They're probably like, oh, this is the test. If someone took a video of it, you guys failed.
Yeah, exactly. That was
Yeah.
probably. There's a statue that came to light recently. I'm gonna show you a picture. No.
I thought you were gonna
This statue recently. Look at this. It's an old statue, but look.
Yeah.
Now, do you see this? Do you know who this is? Look.
It's like a vampire. I don't know.
So he has wings. He has wings, and there's a chain on his ankle, right? And he has a crown. It's obviously Lucifer, like Satan.
I saw the chain. I was like, yeah.
Right? Now check this out. Look at this. What foot is this? You seen this statue before?
Wait.
I know you've seen this statue before.
Is that the one in? No, that's not the one.
Look. You see it? So there's a chain and a foot. That's the foot of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard about this.
Now this statue, going back to that statue, look. There's 7 points on this crown, right? There's 7 points on this crown.
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty has 7 points on its crown.
No.
Now go back to the statue. Look, what's by its feet? An apple. Where is the Statue of Liberty? The Big Apple, New York City. What do they call New York City? The Big Apple, fam. Crazy.
I hope everybody is noticing the same shit I'm noticing. It's something new every day. Now human DNA found in 2 billion year old meteorite. Now let's just say, for instance, what if our DNA was on a meteorite, the same meteorite that supposedly ended the dinosaurs? Now I'm not saying that's what happened, but someone did tell me a couple years ago that same shit. Like, what if we were on a meteorite, or what if we were the aliens that crash landed onto Earth? Like, I was like, nigga, what? But now with this motherfucking shit, I'm like, bro, come on now. So they expect us to believe that we had a trace amount on a meteorite, crashed, and then somehow we were the little parasites that grew? Who the fuck be coming up with this shit, bro? I swear they be behind a desk and they just say the most outlandish shit. Nigga, if this was true, this would change the whole reality of life. Do y'all not understand that? I need y'all to comment y'all thoughts down below on this. How do y'all feel? Do y'all think this is real? What do y'all believe? Let me know in the comments, man. No answer is wrong.
Have you heard of the mystery of the Loreto Chapel? They were building this chapel in New Mexico, and the French architect who was building this chapel, he all of a sudden died, and he did not complete the staircase to the choir loft. The sisters of the Loreto Chapel, the nuns, you know, they pray for 9 days.
Okay.
And they pray to Saint Joseph that someone is sent to build these stairs so the chapel can be complete. At the end of the 9 days of prayer, this man comes in from across the desert riding a donkey, walks into the church, and he says, I was sent here to build stairs.
Stop it!
Listen, he built these stairs in 3 months and just dipped. The sister's like, well, we didn't pay him. So the sisters went to the lumber yard and said, do we owe you anything? They said, this man never came and got wood from us.
Oh my goodness.
And there's not a single nail used on this staircase.
What?
And then the curator of this chapel, he brought in over 120 experts in making spiral staircases. They said, we don't know how to do that.
Wow.
These sisters believe that Joseph himself came because he was a carpenter.
Oh my gosh, wait.
Dude.
The truth about Michael Jackson, that he died from the Pepsi-Cola video, right? The other Michael Jackson was really the fake one. The white one was the fake one. But nobody don't believe it. They think I'm crazy. But I'm telling you for real, Michael Jackson, he kind of like died. And that's why he made the song, It Don't Matter If You Black or White. Tell everybody in Indiana that, so they know.
Okay. Well, it's here on Uncut TV, so I'm pretty sure when they check this interview out, yeah. Something that
Michael Jackson been dead. Yeah, he died a long time ago. Yeah, he didn't die from the OD. He died from the Pepsi. Stop playing with me. Fuck off, mama.
Oh, you're referring to the
Yeah,
he was
his heart caught on fire. Yeah, his heart caught on fire. Dang, he died that day. A lot of people don't know. His heart caught on fire. He died. But the Jackson was going up, so they had to bring him back, and they brought him back white. But a lot of people don't know.
I know this guy says a lot of crazy stuff, and I see some of y'all in the comments always talking about him. I know he sounds crazy, but in this situation, he might not be too far off from the truth. A lot of things involving the Michael Jackson situation are just very off and do not add up or make sense. And especially if you look at the type of stuff Michael Jackson was saying and doing before he had passed, it would not be a surprise that they were trying to take him out early because he was getting a little bit too powerful for the system and they couldn't control him anymore.
Before you book that next trip to Mexico, you need to hear this. Banners are showing up all across Mexico warning that the Sinaloa cartels are planning to target American citizens in popular tourist areas. And what exactly they're saying on those banners is disturbing. Be aware, these aren't just internet rumors, this is really happening. Multiple local outlets across Mexico and border reporters have confirmed that these banners have been showing up in places like Baja California, near Cabo, and other resort towns. The message: they're threatening to show the US how they fight a war by going after American citizens in Mexico. One banner mentioning FBI Director Kash Patel, saying this was retaliation for recent DEA raids, drug lab seizures, and weapon confiscation. Now, to be clear, not every image online has been verified yet. Some could be fake or manipulated, but cartel threats aren't a new thing, and the Sinaloa cartels have a history of sending public warnings before they act. Even Mexico's own security agencies have ramped up patrols around popular tourist areas like Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta, and the US State Department already has a do not travel warning for certain Mexican states, including Sinaloa, Guerrero, Tamaulipas, and Michoacan, all because of cartel violence, kidnappings, and shootings. Tourist areas may look safe on Instagram, but violence can spill over fast when rival factions clash. And the fact that these banners specifically mention Americans, that's a whole new level of concern. So if you're thinking about vacationing to Mexico, don't.
I'm just gonna have to take their word for it because I'm sure Mexico is a beautiful place, but I also like my head being on my body. So if y'all wanna participate in this, hey man, that's free will. But I'm going to be staying here. So yeah. Yeah.
And Michael said in a recent interview that he was frightened of you. He says that he was so frightened of you sometimes that he would be sick. Is that true?
Well, I just knew about that when I heard him mention that on TV on the Oprah Winfrey Show. I didn't know anything about him being sick, but regurgitating. But if he did regurgitate it, he regurgitated all the way to the bank, you know.
What do you mean?
I mean, by me being strict with him a little bit, and it made him a superstar, you know, because look, it just didn't happen on his own, you know. He had to have a beginning. All of them had to have a beginning.
When a spirit sits on your bed, it's often trying to convey a message. Now, these are usually the spirits of a loved one or someone that you knew, right? And this is their way of saying, hey, I'm still here, or trying to let you know that something is going to happen, or everything is going to be all right, or you should make that decision. Now, when you think about it, what do we do when we talk to someone? We sit on their bed, right? Usually on the corner. Or this could be a comforting thing. Now, I had heard the story about this girl who every night she would wake up and feel like something was sitting on the corner of her bed. And in the morning when she would wake up, she would notice that the covers were kind of double folded around her. And she didn't really think much of this until one day she's talking to her aunt. And she tells her about these things that happen to her at night. Her aunt just starts bawling and crying. And she goes, when your mother, who passed away when she was a little girl, she would come in my bedroom when I was upset or I was sad. She would sit on the corner of my bed, and after I would fall asleep, she would fold the cover in like a double fold over the top of me. So, as you can see, this is her mother trying to communicate that she's still there with her. Turn around. He's behind you. Now, David and his friend Alex were up in the North Woods doing some ice fishing. Now, they were in a very remote area near a very large lake. And this area was considered to be sacred ground by the Native Americans. So, being that it was the middle of winter and it was very cold, they were being very precautious. They had a very large fire going. As they sat around the campfire, they began to hear something coming from the woods. David said, "What is that? Like, what's that sound?" And his friend Alex goes, "I don't know. Like, I hear it too." And he says, "Well, maybe we should go and investigate and see what it is." So they both get up and they start walking out into the woods. The next thing David knows, he's lying on the ground and he is ice cold and his friend Alex is gone. He gets up, he starts looking around for him. He starts yelling his name. He doesn't see Alex anywhere. He makes his way back to their campsite, only to discover that the fire has completely burned out. That's when it started to snow. And it was coming down very, very heavy, almost like a blizzard. So David knew that he needed to find a cave or some kind of shelter to keep him warm from this very bad snowstorm. So he makes his way out into the woods again, and he starts wandering. The snow is coming down heavier and heavier by the minute, and he can barely see in front of him. And that's when he hears, "Turn around, he's behind you." He hears a voice. He looks around, he can't see anything because it's snowing everywhere. And once again, he hears, "Turn around, he's behind you." So David just keeps on walking. And he keeps hearing over and over again, "Turn around, he's behind you." Finally, it gets to the point where he can not even see what's in front of him because the snow is coming down so heavy now. And he knows if he doesn't find shelter soon, that will be the end of him. He said that's when all of a sudden he ran into something. And as he starts feeling around, he feels what seems like some sort of wooden shingles. And he realizes there's some sort of cabin. Now, the rule of the Northwoods is when there is a very bad snowstorm, you are always welcome into someone's cabin. So he makes his way around this cabin and eventually finds the door handle. He opens up the door, and right as he turns the handle, he hears, "Come in." And as he opens the door, he says, thank you. Like, I've lost my friend. Like, there's a heavy snowstorm. Like, I don't know what to do. I need to take shelter. And I hope you don't mind me just coming in here. Like, but I need a place to stay for the night. But as he makes his way into this cabin, it is completely pitch black. There's no lights. There's no candles. There's no fire going. It's just completely dark. But out of the corner of his eye, in the corner of the room, he sees the silhouette of a person sitting in a chair. So David makes his way around this cabin, and he finds a spot where he can sit down. And he tells this man, like, thank you once again for letting me come in. Like, there's just a really bad storm out there, and I don't know what to do. And he says, if you just give me a few moments, I will go out and I'll gather some firewood and I'll get a fire going. And he said, that's when this person said, "Yes, hungry." He said, "Oh, you're hungry?" He's like, "I don't have any food with me. Like, I left it back at the campsite. But, in the morning, maybe I could do some hunting or fishing and I could give you something to eat." And he says, "Yes, delicious." So he keeps trying to have a conversation with this guy, and the guy doesn't really talk that much. He says very little. And he can't even see what this guy looks like. He doesn't even know who he is. He just sees the outline of him in the darkness. So he says, "You know what? I'm kind of tired. I'm going to try and get some shut-eye, and in the morning I'll try and see if I can find my friend Alex." So he lays on his back, and he manages to find something to put behind his head. And he starts dozing off. And that's when he hears, "Turn around, he's behind you." And he wakes up, and he looks over in the corner. He doesn't see the silhouette of the man anymore. This man is now gone. And he said as he turned and looked around the room, he could not see this man anymore. So he just sits up, and he's, kind of panicking. And he keeps hearing, "Turn around, he's behind you." And he's thinking to himself, like, where is this guy? Like, what, is he messing with me? Like, what's going on? And he could just hear the wind whipping against the house. He said that's when, finally, he turns around. And the next thing he knows, he feels this sharp pain throughout his body. And he's on the ground. He wakes up, and it's now morning. The sun is shining into the window of the cabin. He said that's when he looked over in the direction of where that man was sitting. And he said, That guy wasn't there. It was his friend Alex, a half-eaten body. And he discovered he's missing a tooth. One of his tooth were stuck into his friend Alex. That's when it occurred to him. He had been stuck in the snowstorm for a very long time, and he had eaten his friend.
What if I told you that humans might not be fully human? Scientists just discovered proof that alien DNA might be living inside of us. And this discovery changes everything. According to leaked reports from genetic labs, researchers found mysterious gene fragments that don't match any known human or primate lineage. They've double-checked the databases. Nothing. It's like those strands came from somewhere else. Some call it contamination, others are calling it contact. One scientist even said, and I quote, "We may be looking at the oldest extraterrestrial signature ever in human DNA." But here's where it gets weird. Some of those untraceable gene patterns are linked to unusual human traits. Things like enhanced intuition, hyper-creativity, even spontaneous healing. You ever met someone who said they felt different their whole life? Maybe it's not just a feeling. Maybe it's coded in their blood. Now ask yourself this. What if ancient civilizations weren't worshiping gods? They were meeting their creators. Think about it. If a small percent of our DNA didn't originate on Earth, that means every human carries a piece of something else. It could mean our evolution was guided. It could mean our ancestors were modified. And it might even explain why humans advanced so suddenly. While one day we just jumped into intelligence, art, and technology out of nowhere. Now here's the wildest part. The same studies suggest certain blood types carry higher traces of these unknown sequences, especially those with Rh negative blood. And guess what? That blood type doesn't naturally occur anywhere else in the animal kingdom. So who gave it to us? And what if that group was chosen or left behind by something non-human? We might all be a part of an ancient experiment still unfolding. Do you think alien DNA is real? Or are we just starting to remember where we came from? Drop your blood types in the comment. Let's see how many of us carry the code. And follow for part 2, where I reveal which ancient civilization might have known about this way before science did. I'm out.
See, this sounds like a bunch of nonsense, but it would actually be kind of cool if we had some superpowers. But like, as long as the wrong people don't have them, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you figure out you can fly or something, but then I think about it again. I'm like, imagine Diddy had super strength. Like, I don't think we would want that. So hopefully this isn't true, and if it is, we don't figure out about that, because if it does get into the wrong hands, we're gonna have the evil Avengers. We're gonna have Diddy with super strength, and we're gonna have Ellen DeGeneres teleporting. So I think we should just, lay off on this one for a little bit.
There's one word you should never say. Absolutely never ever say the word skinwalker. Because when you say this word, you are sending up a beacon to say, hey, I'm here. And you are inviting this thing, right, to come after you. Even thinking about it, even watching videos about it, can bring it about. And that's why a lot of Native American cultures, if you ask them questions about it, they don't talk about it at all. They want to forget about it, that even happened. I've heard that the reason it doesn't like you to say that word is because you are essentially calling it what it is. And by acknowledging and saying its name, you are, right, telling it that it is evil, right? I heard this story. There was a man, and he was driving down this highway one night. Now, he didn't believe in any kind of legend or lore. And so he's on the phone with a friend, and he's talking to him, and he mentions the word. And his friend's like, oh, no, man, you're not supposed to say that. Don't you know that? And he's like, oh, man, that's just a myth. Like, that's not true. And as he's driving down this road, he slams on his brakes because he sees something on the side of the road, like kind of going out into the road. When he looks closely, he sees it's some kind of like coyote. And he said as he got a better look at the coyote, he could see that it had yellow eyes. So that kind of freaked him out a little bit, and he kind of just drives around this thing. And he starts slowly going, watching it in its mirror to see what it does. Well, it starts running after his car. And he starts speeding, and he's going as fast as he can. And this thing is chasing him and keeping up with his vehicle. Well, he thinks he's finally lost it because he doesn't see it anymore. And he thinks, oh, it's gone. I'm all right. Well, when he makes it home, he gets out of his car and he notices in the woods by his house that there's a coyote like moving around in the woods.
Movies that were trying to tell us something part infinity. Let's talk about Monsters, Inc. Now, for anybody unaware, the entire premise of the movie Monsters, Inc. is these monsters harnessing the energy of children from making them scream in terror. Quite literally, every single morning, each of the monsters is let out, and these doors are brought in where they're given a subject, like a particular child, that they need to go and scare. Coincidentally enough, the so-called screams that they're harnessing, as you see here, just happen to be red like another liquid that we know a lot about. People for years have hypothesized there might be much more to this movie. First and foremost, people have theorized for a long time that maybe this is them telling us right to our face that they are harnessing all of our fear on a daily basis. It is also quite ironic because the scarers, the people that are extracting this energy from the children, are treated like celebrities. I found this clip from the end of the movie that was disturbing to say the least. Roll it.
Finally, I never should have trusted you with this. Because of you, I had to banish my top scarer.
With this machine, we won't need scarers. Besides, Sullivan got what he deserved.
Sullivan was twice the scarer you will ever be.
In that scene, we quite literally see Randall, who's one of the main villains, come up with an invention or a different machine that can extract the energy from the children in a whole different way. Of course, with everything that people have rumored that's going on in Hollywood and entertainment for years, it really makes you think. Comment below with anything I missed, as well as suggestions for the next video or series. Wake up.
10 people who could have changed the world and vanished. Stanley Meyer was an American inventor who claimed to have created a process that could make combustion engines run on water instead of gasoline. According to him, his car could run on tap water, rainwater, well water, and even seawater. But not everyone was pleased with his invention. Stanley was accused of fraud by the government itself, and on March 2nd, 1998, during a dinner with his brother and 2 Belgian investors who were interested in putting a lot of money into the idea, something strange happened. In the middle of the negotiations, the investors raised a toast. Just seconds after drinking, Stanley grabbed his throat and shouted, "They poisoned me!" His brother, who witnessed everything, said the scene was extremely bizarre. And stranger still, in less than 3 hours, there was already an official report stating that Stanley had died of a brain aneurysm. But how? His brother swore that Stanley underwent regular medical exams and had never been diagnosed with anything like that. The case remains full of doubts to this day. Many believe his death was a way to silence him, because his invention could have put billions of dollars from the oil industry at risk. And you? Do you believe Stanley Meyer died of natural causes, or was he eliminated so his invention would never reach the world?
There's a serial killer in Houston. There's no way that 16 people has been unalived in the last couple months around the same area in the bayou. Make it make sense, y'all. They keep saying, oh, nah, it's not a serial killer. It's just people magically walking down to the bayou and just unaliving themselves, or they just passing away. So it's one of two things. If it's not a serial killer, then it must be some weird, wicked witchcraft going on that's making people go down and never come back up. What do y'all think it is? It's either a witch, a serial killer, or it's just some goddamn cursed place over there. I don't know. But I do know that this is not normal. Anybody that think that's normal can eat a dick. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Somebody gotta tag the mayor of Houston. Somebody gotta tag him, bro. Because you keep insisting that there's nothing crazy going on. This shit is all normal. Bruh, put some cameras down there. Catch what's really going on, fool. If you keep saying we crazy and nothing we're saying is true, put some cameras so we can all know. So we can get the truth of what's going on down there.
How do these people even maintain their positions? There are a bunch of people going missing, and he goes, oh no, I'm sure everything is fine, just different coincidence. Like, no, like, bro, what? 1 or 2, I can understand why you think it's coincidence. More than 20? Like, okay, nah, there's a pattern. Like, what is it gonna take for this guy to realize that, you know, there's something that's not right going on here? It's not just a coincidence.
We've had a recent eerie encounter in the Portland tunnels. Now, this just took place a couple weeks ago. There was this man named Alex. Alex was an urban explorer. Now, he said he had heard about a secret entrance to the Portland tunnels in the Old Town. And he said a friend of his had drawn him up a map and said there was this back entrance that you could get into that was hidden in an alleyway. So he makes his way to downtown. And he said he traversed down this very thin alley. It came out into this sort of open area with a couple dumpsters. And he said right on the wall was this boarded up area that looked like some stairs. So he managed to go over to where it was boarded up, and he said it was slightly pulled back, like someone had already gotten in there. So he moved it out of the way, and he goes down these stairs that lead him directly into a tunnel. As he's walking down this tunnel, he said, there was just graffiti, and there was sort of like all kinds of garbage on the floor. Well, he said he went down a couple of these corridors when he sees some movement up ahead. He shines his flashlight, and he said standing there was this very tall guy. So he's wearing a trench coat. He had very long hair, kind of scruffy looking face, and he looked like maybe he was like a homeless person. So this guy just kind of had his head cocked to the side, tilted a little bit, and he was making very loud sort of breathing sounds. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to disturb you. I'm an urban explorer, like I'm just checking out the tunnels and I wanted to film it. And like if you're upset, I can leave. Said the guy didn't say anything, just so he's like, is it all right if I continue on and go past you and continue to look around? Like I promise I'll be gone soon and like I won't disrespect your space. Still didn't say anything. So I thought, okay, maybe this isn't a good idea. It's probably time to leave. So he starts walking back towards this exit that he came in from. He says he was making his way down the tunnel. Something runs in front of him into like another one of the tunnels that was connected to this area. He said it looked like a dog. So he walks over to this other tunnel that's connecting to this tunnel that he's on. And he shines his flashlight in there. And he said there was that man standing directly in this like hallway or whatever you want to call it. And he was just staring at him with these bright yellow eyes. So he just takes off running towards the exit. And he said he could hear the breathing of this guy as he was chasing him. He gets out of there. And he said, after that, he went home. But he said the eerie thing was, as he started to think about it, when he was looking at this guy, he realized, like, wait a second, like, he wasn't wearing shoes. And he didn't have regular feet. He had these, like, dog kind of looking paws. And he said just something about that was, it bothered him. And he said, he's explored a lot of places, but that was the first place where he was truly scared that something could have happened to him.
Justin Bieber's trying to expose Hollywood, but nobody's listening. Check this out.
Has anybody seen Justin Bieber's Instagram? He posted shipping containers with a photo of a baby on a blanket underneath.
Isn't that weird?
Captioned, I got anger issues too, but I want to grow and not react so much. Yo. In the same post, there's a picture of him as a child.
What's he trying to tell us?
And who remembers a few months back when there was demands to open the shipping containers? Look at the location, Diddy's house.
Diddy's house.
And look what's right here.
A shipping port.
Evergreen. And who remembers this episode of Dexter? Evergreen. Remember Harry found him in the shipping container?
It's darker than you think.
If anyone were to know what's going on, it would be Justin Bieber. He grew up in this industry around all these famous people his entire life, so I feel like he's seen a lot of stuff that we obviously have not seen. He can't say too much or else they're just going to take him out and make him look crazy.
We are finna experience our first civil war ever. I know we all heard about it in school, but now we about to go through one too? Nah, fool. I can't be the only one looking at this shit like, bruh, how the fuck is this possible? Did you really think you would see a civil war in your lifetime? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That's a lot of things I thought I wouldn't see in my lifetime. But it's happening. The Texas National Guards just pulled up in Illinois, y'all. Strapped up, boots on, backpack ready, locked and loaded. So you got the government saying, oh, it's just a deployment. But the people in Illinois is like, nah, no, it's not, fool. We didn't tell y'all to come your ass over here. Y'all just pulled up because Donald Trump said y'all could. This is an invasion. We don't want y'all over here. How the hell is this possible? You got military trucks pulling up. You got American soldiers on one side from another state. And then you got American soldiers from another state on another side. What? The Illinois governor is saying the same thing the California governor said. This is unconstitutional. This is not right, fool. You don't gotta take my word. Go look at the videos. You can see the tension. This shit crazy, fool. You had one video where the Chicago PD were getting treated like civilians. They were getting maced in the face. I just can't believe certain shit like this is happening on U.S. soil.
I think we all just need to take a second, take a deep breath, all come together and just be friends, and we'll all just live a happy life. You know what I'm saying? Like, sounds good to me. Actually, not Diddy though. He's not allowed to be here with us.
Bermuda Triangle, 1945. This was right out of Fort Lauderdale. 5 planes, 5 bombers take off, routine, gonna fly this triangle over the Atlantic. They depart, super normal stuff. And then one of the guys reports, he's like, hey, I'm losing my compasses. Like, starts getting weird electrical issues with the planes. He says, both my compasses are out. I don't know where we are. The ocean doesn't look right. And they can't get direct communication with them. They keep going, they're trying to get in contact. And then the last thing they got out of these people is when the first plane drops below 10 gallons, we all go down together. So the pilots, now they're listening to the pilots talking with each other. So anyways, they launch a rescue plane with 13 more crewmen, went in and sky search for them, and within minutes, out of Fort Lauderdale, it too vanished.
Within minutes?
Within minutes. There's rumored to be a ship that reported a fireball over the water, but no wreckage ever found. Nothing to allude to what happened. And so they chalked it up for years, saying it was pilot error. But here's the problem. You have a total of 6 pilots minimum with 6 different craft that went out. So how is it the pilot's fault if you have that many pilots? So it's Flight 19, and it's become one of the cornerstone cases in the Bermuda Triangle. That's where it went missing.
So the Bermuda Triangle's got to have something to it.
Somebody gotta explain to me how this happened, y'all. A baby was born pregnant. A baby had a baby inside of him. So when the mother gave birth to her baby, the doctors was like, okay, why is the baby belly so big? So they did an ultrasound on the baby and found out that the baby was pregnant. So they said the chances of this happening is 1 in a million. When a mother is having twins and the twin get trapped inside of the other twin in the belly. But I'm still confused, like, how the fuck that happened? The doctors had to ultimately do surgery on a baby, and they said they pulled limbs, bones, even hair out of the baby. And obviously the baby didn't survive, but this baby that they pulled the baby from survived. So they said the countries this has happened in is India, China, and Israel. I don't
know. This is for entertainment purposes only. But people, it looks like I was wrong. AI stands for Antichrist. Stands for Antichrist. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So there's a new religion that everybody's going to, where you worship artificial intelligence as your God. Oh, you son of a bitch. When I first heard about it, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. This is worse than Terminator 2. It's worse. Because at least in Terminator 2, the robot was trying to kill us. They're praying to the AI as their God. No doubt they're going to be taking the chip. If they've not told the mark of the beast by now, I'm sure they're on the waiting list. So yeah, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, watch out, because there's a new God in town.
One night, a young man named Brian was driving through the Appalachian Mountains. It was a nice summer night, the moon was full, and he was enjoying the scenery, illuminated by the moonlight. As he's driving, he gets a flat tire, and he pulls over to the side of the road. Now, he doesn't have a spare, so he calls up AAA. AAA tells him, we're going to send a tow truck out to you, but it'll take a while. So he's sitting in his car, and he starts to whistle a song. When all of a sudden that is overshadowed by a baby crying, and the sound is coming from the woods. Now, part of him tells him he should stay in the car. Another part tells him to go and check it out. So he gets out of the car, and he starts walking through the woods, heading towards the sound of this child crying. Eventually, he stumbles upon this old cemetery. And he sees that it's so old, there are not tombstones, but there are these rocks sitting where the graves would be. He follows the sound of this child crying behind one of the stones. And when he goes over to the stone, he realizes that the full moon is no longer shining and that the clouds have passed in front of the moon. He can't even see his hands in front of him. All of a sudden, he feels something grab his neck, and he feels these sharp nails dig into the side of his flesh. He's shaken, he's scared, he doesn't know what to do, so he just takes off running into the woods. Eventually gets back out to the road, and he sees the tow truck driver up ahead, parked by his vehicle. When he gets over to the tow truck driver, he notices that the tow truck driver is very nervous and scared, like he doesn't want to be there. So the tow truck driver is hitching up the car, and he asks, "Is everything okay?" And the tow truck driver said, "We're not supposed to be here out in the woods at night. We need to leave." So they get in his tow truck, and as they're driving, he proceeds to tell them that there's an old legend about the cemetery in the woods there, that if you go there at night, that something will take you.
You are not ready for how diabolical the McFlurry conspiracy rabbit hole really is. You know the story. Show up to McD's, make your order, throw a McFlurry in there, and get hit with the, "Oh, sorry, our ice cream machine is broken." It's not just you. This was happening to everyone. The McDonald's ice cream machine is just always broken. Well, I found out why, and it turns out big corporations are literally conspiring against customers like us, and it's darker than you think. This isn't even a theory, as we have direct evidence of everything they did. We're talking court documents, emails from CEOs that proves it's all real. And a recent lawsuit reconfirmed everything once again. The infamous McDonald's ice cream machine being down became so common it turned into a meme when people all over the internet constantly complained about it. Well, someone ran the numbers, and it turns out that about 15% of McDonald's ice cream machines are down at any given time, which is kind of a lot. They even tried covering it up a few years ago by debunking this myth, claiming it was just as a result of a daily cleaning cycle the machine had to go through, during which time it was unusable. But the cleaning cycle is only 4 hours long and typically done at closing, which does not account for the high rate of failure reported. Remember, kids, never trust a debunker. Well, this is their ice cream machine, made by a company called Taylor. All McDonald's owners are required to buy their equipment from them, company policy. Now, in 2017, Taylor reported that 25% of the revenue came from recurring parts and services, basically fixing their machines. And let me tell you, 25% is a lot, as another report showed that maintenance and repairs accounted for $170 million of revenue per year for Taylor. And hey, this is barely even the tip of how devious their operation really gets. Because their entire business model is essentially scoring exclusivity deals with big chains, so franchise owners are forced to buy their products, selling them faulty machines that need constant fixing, charging them heavy fees for repairs on a recurring basis. So McDonald's franchise owners put off the repairs of these machines for as long as they can, because their cost for repair often outweighs their revenue from ice cream sales. You see, it's the franchisee owners, not McDonald's corporate head office, that pays for these repairs. Basically, when you want to open your own McDonald's restaurant, you sign something called a franchise agreement with McDonald's corporate, where you agree to follow all of McDonald's rules and standards in exchange for being able to use the McDonald's brand for your restaurant. Franchising 101. In this agreement, it explicitly states that you have to buy your ice cream machines from Taylor. Oh, and only Taylor is allowed to fix your machines as well. That's called an exclusivity deal, which can sometimes turn into a bit of a legalized monopoly. So Taylor is their sole provider of machines and repairs, and can essentially charge any price they want for their products and services, which leaked invoices show can go as high as $315 per 15 minutes of additional labor over the first 30 minutes. So a 3-hour repair job can cost over $3,000, which how that's not price gouging, I have no clue. But that's how Taylor makes their money. McDonald's corporate doesn't care, because they're not paying for the repairs and probably have a multi-million-dollar exclusivity deal with Taylor, who shares a portion of their profits with them. So Taylor kinda has an infinite money glitch, selling fuck-ass machines that need constant repairs paid by the franchise owners who can't even buy their machines from anyone else. But even that is just the tip of what they're really doing, and they just keep on going deeper even when we try to get them to stop. Enter Kitsch, a startup company that created a device that you can plug into Taylor ice cream machines and override their computers to fix any errors they're having, meaning you can fix them without calling Taylor for repairs, which they definitely didn't like. Because Kitsch realized that Taylor actually intentionally installs flawed code into their ice cream machines to cause them to malfunction without informing the user what the error even is. And while Kitsch was testing their product on Taylor machines, Taylor actually tried to steal their product 3 times, which were outlined in court documents. First by a Taylor distribution manager directly, then by one of their lawyers, and finally by 2 private investigators hired by Taylor using aliases and dummy email addresses. These guys were treating this like a fucking bank heist. They were not messing around. When these attempts failed, they actually conspired with a McDonald's franchise owner to work with them by enrolling him in a Kitsch trial. The franchise owner's name was Tyler Gamble, and he told Kitsch that he was head of McDonald's equipment team and wanted to bring Kitsch's product into every McDonald's. But it turns out he was actually a spy for Taylor, and it was all a ruse. Gamble got his hands on a Kitsch device and used it to reverse engineer their technology, and he purposely kept the device disconnected from the internet for weeks at a time while he took it apart so that Kitsch wouldn't catch on. When the device came back online weeks later and the SD card was 90% full, Kitsch caught on. But it was already too late, because coincidentally a new product came out just shortly after by a company called Powerhouse Dynamics, which is owned by Middleby Corporation, the parent company of Taylor. And it did exactly what the Kitsch device did, but with less information provided to the user, more restrictions added. And now McDonald's franchise owners are forced to buy this inferior product from Middleby instead of from Kitsch. Middleby stole the device blueprint from Kitsch and made it their own. So in 2021, Kitsch actually sued that McDonald's franchise owner and Taylor for almost $900 million on the grounds of Taylor trying to conceal a multi-million-dollar repair racket, which is exactly what this was. This is some straight mafia shit, and emails prove all the big suits were in on it. Because back when Kitsch was trialing their device, McDonald's head office sent out an email outright telling franchise owners not to use Kitsch because it wasn't safe, making up complete lies that the device can cause serious human injury just to scare owners away from using it, when in reality it would have just saved the franchise owners a ton of money. But McDonald's corporate has a multi-million-dollar exclusivity deal with Taylor they need to protect, who makes a lot of money selling and fixing their bullfuck ice cream machines. A leaked email from the CEO of Taylor's parent company, Middleby, straight up said that he was trying to stop Kitsch's device from gaining traction. 2 weeks later, McDonald's sends out their email calling Kitsch's product dangerous. What Middleby is doing is called corporate espionage to gain an unfair market advantage, and there are actually a collection of antitrust laws to prevent this from happening. But clearly, if you have enough money, laws don't apply to you anymore. Because all that companies like Kitsch are trying to do is save McDonald's franchise owners money by making ice cream machine repairs more affordable, so that they can be more profitable and customers like you and I can have our motherfucking Smarties McFlurries when we want them. But no, big corporations like Taylor would much rather literally snatch ice cream out of the hands of children and keep their ice cream machines as broken as possible so they can make more money. Remember that the next time they tell you their ice cream machine is down, knowing that multi-billion-dollar companies are by definition conspiring against us, the consumer. And people say conspiracies aren't real, huh?
Bro, this has got to be some of the craziest lore ever. We literally have billionaires beefing over ice cream. It's so crazy what money can really do to people. We really have grown men going back and forth at each other for ice cream. Honestly, this whole system is just set up for them to win and make a lot of money off these people. They don't want anyone else to thrive but them, so they rig the system in their favor.
The craziest conspiracy theory about Doja Cat that everyone is talking about right now is that she joined the Illuminati this week and she kind of wants everyone to know about it.
You guys, we lost Doja.
Doja's vibes lately, it's giving humiliation phase.
Throw Illuminati themed birthday party, right?
As you know, Doja Cat has been acting a little strange lately and changing a bit, and people think that her 27th birthday party this week was an Illuminati ritual meeting for Doja hidden in plain sight, because the party was literally partly Illuminati themed. Evil Freemason symbol on the cake. And people think the cake was a nod to the infamous 27 Club, and Doja turns 27 this year, especially because the party was themed after the movie Eyes Wide Shut, which is literally a movie about an elitist secret society and sex cult where they literally sacrifice people to the devil. And big Hollywood elites, executives, and celebrities came to the party looking like this, looking blatantly Illuminati. And the scariest part is that Doja Cat herself was literally dressed like the woman in the movie who, spoiler alert, gets sacrificed and killed by the group. So people think she sold her soul and was initiated, and when you are initiated, something infamously embarrassing has to happen to you. And we all know what very embarrassing thing happened to Doja Cat that night that was all over the internet. Then afterwards, she just appears with this black eye drawn on her face, which is a sign she joined the infamous Purple Eye Club, which is another sign of initiation where celebrities just show up with a fake or out of the blue black eye. I'm gonna show you what Doja Cat has to say about this, but before I do, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theories about each of these celebrities and request who you want to see next. In response to the rumor, she said, "You guys, please be quiet about the Illuminati because everyone is finding out and we want to keep it a secret. Sorry." Then she posted this and said, "MK Ultra got their grips on me, OMG. Please help, I'm fucking glitching." So Illuminati confirmed.
Products that became successful because customers used them completely wrong. Listerine was originally marketed as a powerful floor cleaner and general disinfectant for hospitals and homes, but customers started using it as mouthwash during the 1920s. The company spent decades promoting Listerine as an industrial-strength cleaning solution that could sanitize surfaces and medical equipment in institutional settings. When people began gargling with the antiseptic and reporting fresher breath, Listerine pivoted their entire marketing strategy and invented the concept of halitosis to sell their cleaning product as an essential oral hygiene solution. Play-Doh was developed as wallpaper cleaner to remove coal residue and soot stains from home interiors during the era when coal heating created dirty wall surfaces. The moldable putty was designed to roll across wallpaper and absorb dark stains that regular cleaning couldn't remove from delicate wall coverings. When schools started using the non-toxic cleaning compound as modeling clay for children's art projects, the company rebranded their wallpaper cleaner as the world's most popular children's toy and creative medium. WD-40 was created as a nuclear atlas rocket rust prevention coating to protect atomic weapons from corrosion during the Cold War arms race. The water displacement formula was classified military technology designed to prevent moisture damage on nuclear missiles stored in underground silos for extended periods. Employees at the aerospace company began sneaking the rust-preventive home for personal use on squeaky hinges and stuck bolts, leading to commercial production of the most versatile household lubricant and problem solver ever marketed.
Yo, some people on this earth have the worst survival instincts I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay, who possibly said, "Oh yeah, let me take this floor cleaner and rinse my mouth with it"? Like, some people just don't think before they do.
The story of Rumpelstiltskin is not just a story written by the Grimm's brothers, but it's actually a very ancient story that's been told through different cultures. There's this farmer who promises the king that his daughter can spin straw into gold. So the king basically takes the daughter, and the daughter's like, "I can't do that." And the king's like, "You have to do it or else I'm going to kill you." And then in comes this little magical man and says, "I can do this, but basically you belong to me." He said, "If you ever have a child, your child belongs to me." And she ended up getting free and stuff later on, has a child. In comes this little man, says, "Your child belongs to me." And she said, "I can give you anything," because she's now a rich woman. "I can give you anything in this world." And he says, "Nothing is more valuable than a human life. I'll tell you what, you can keep your child if you can guess my name. I'll give you 3 days to guess my name." And then one of her servants followed the little man home, and he was dancing around fire, basically singing, "I'm Rumpelstiltskin." Then he comes in and says, "Your name is Rumpelstiltskin." He's furious, and that's basically the end of the story. But they're saying this story at least 4,000 years old, told through different cultures.
Really?
Yeah. You're promised the world, or you promised power or riches. In exchange, typically a child's life.
The Super Bowl is one big demonic ritual. Here's
I've never
proof.
seen so much dark symbolism during a Super Bowl in my entire life. Rihanna throws on a bright red dress and just throws up the Illuminati sign in front of everyone. I mean, the platform she was on was literally shaped as a triangle as well. They all wear and do the same thing. Sam Smith and The Weeknd with some of the most satanic performances ever. Lizzo with a literal 6 on her head. Doja Cat and all these other artists. You guys get it yet? And what the heck was this? There is absolutely no way she just sniffed her finger after this. I break down the whole thing on YouTube, but let's get into some other things that didn't sit right with me at the Super Bowl. Damar Hamlin, after the whole world prays for you, you come out with a blasphemous jacket making Jesus Christ on the cross looking like a clown or a zombie? I mean, just read what it says in the front of the jacket. I mean, even AP called it blasphemous. And he's throwing up the 6s with LeBron, and he's getting new tattoos on his hand. I seen Travis Scott wearing the same thing on a chain, and don't you dare call that art. Uzi at the Super Bowl doing the same thing. All of them just making fun of Jesus. Riri, you ain't off the hook either. Pulling up in an upside down cross saying control mine. And don't even get me started with the commercials. This was the worst.
Let's see what kind of demonic stuff's at this year's Super Bowl.
Honestly, this is becoming way too normal. Back in the day, if you said, "Yo, this girl is a witch," they would have all grabbed their pitchforks and just slimed her out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now these people are getting praise and all this and that for worshiping evil. Like, that's just really weird. I think we need to bring the old method back. Not playing.
I think the public needs to know this.
If you're traveling this summer for vacation or for the holidays, listen up. As of right now, the FBI is hunting down 500 truck driving serial killers. Before I get into it, if you're traveling this summer, you're going to want to be cautious traveling on I-40. So this has been going on for the past 20 years, but it's ramping up. So the FBI is guesstimating that around 1,000 plus women have been murdered by long-haul truck drivers. But that's not all. They also have murdered 2 couples as well at truck stops. And these are the weirdos they're catching. So this is actually a chilling last picture of this girl before she was murdered. Basically what they're doing is they're targeting SEX workers at truck stops and unsuspecting women. What they're doing then is basically torturing these women in the back of their trailers for as long as they possibly want to, and then they end up just murdering them. But the body count is just getting higher and higher, basically so high that they're letting it be known to the public. So the sad part is a lot of these working girls don't have a choice. Either their PIMPs are saying, hey, you got to go in that truck or else, or hey, you're not going to get your DRUGS if you don't get in that truck. And they're all ending up dead. So far, the FBI has concluded that it's happening in North Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas.
Oh, wonderful. 500 serial killers. I feel really safe today. I'm actually going to go outside right now. I'm going to go have the time of my life. No.
3 meals a day. Please, that's not nature. That's Rockefeller marketing. Our ancestors didn't sit around with breakfast, lunch, and dinner neatly served. They ate once a day, sometimes 3 times a week. That was abundance. And you know what? They thrived. They were lean, sharp, and strong because the body is designed to function best in fasting. You ever wonder why you heal in your sleep? Because you're fasting. The body finally gets to stop wasting energy digesting junk and starts repairing, rebuilding, cleaning house. That's when the real work gets done. But you've been programmed. You think skipping breakfast is a crime. You think hunger is an emergency. No, it's power. Fasting activates cells that act like little soldiers. They march straight to the damage, clean it out, rebuild you stronger. That's real medicine. And yet the white coat will tell you to eat regularly. Why? Because the system isn't built for your health, it's built for your dependence. Rockefeller didn't give you 3 meals to nourish you. He gave you 3 meals to chain you, to keep you tired, inflamed, obedient.
Something really scary is going on with Doja Cat right now, and it's caused so many conspiracy theories to get started, but all of those theories can be debunked by the simple fact that Doja Cat is playing a character, Scarlet, all to get your attention. Scarlet is the name of Doja Cat's new album and her new tour, and right when this era began, Doja Cat started donning this red, evil appearance and saying things to her fans like, leave a comment oozing with jealousy, insecurity, or malice below. Your protesting is only support. And as we know, Doja has been downright bullying her fans, so the biggest conspiracy theory right now is that people think that Doja Cat wants out of the music industry and out of her contract.
I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend.
And by pushing away all her fans, she could expedite her contract. But that's not true, because if Doja really wanted out of her contract, she would make music that she doesn't believe in and doesn't perform well because her label wouldn't make any money. But her new song, Paint the Town Red, is doing very well. And in that song, she admits she still wants to be famous. She just doesn't need fans, but she needs attention.
I don't need a new fan, cause my boo like it. Fame ain't something that I need no more, cause bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
She wants you to love or hate her.
My happiness is all of your misery.
She's only happy with your misery because it's getting her attention. The second theory is that did Doja Cat join the Illuminati and that's why she's acting so evil and demonic? Because even on the cover art of her new single, the A is upside down, so it looks like a devil and his horns, but it's actually specifically the A that's upside down because it's an upside down scarlet letter. It's becoming clear that Doja Cat crafted this image of Scarlet to represent the old tale of having a scarlet letter, or basically a woman who was shamed for going against societal norms. And Doja has been judged and canceled for a whole long list of things in the last 4 years. I think Doja Cat got sick of 4 years of fame and scrutiny by society, so this Scarlet character is the overdramatic version of her that she's using to give a middle finger back to society that judged her. So now she's acting like the devil that society has made her out to be all these years and doing the exact opposite of what society would want. So she's being a rebel, hence the chorus of the song.
She the devil, she a bad little bitch, she a rebel, she put her foot to the pedal.
A bruja is a Mexican witch, essentially, that has been so consumed by black magic and evil that it's turned into this monster It has the ability to shapeshift, and it has the ability to mimic. Now, one story I heard is that there was these two boys, and they were camping one night outside of Mexico City. And they had, brought a bottle of tequila, and they're sitting around drinking, kind of joking around, when they see these lights sort of flying around in the sky. And they're far off in the distance. And it, all of a sudden they just kind of move further away. All of a sudden they realize, like, all around them, everything just starts getting really dark, to the point where they almost can't see in front of them. They can't see each other. And this bright light all of a sudden just whooshes right past them, and it gets extremely bright and then goes dark again. So, they think, okay, that was weird. They continue drinking. They end up falling asleep. The next morning, they get up and they go into town, and they're getting breakfast when they tell their waiter what had happened. And the waiter says, "You've seen a bruja." There have been people who've been seeing brujas in the area, and it said they were trying to trick you, to take you, to get you. You see, the further the light is, the closer they actually are. And that was an illusion to make you think that they were actually far away when really they were very close. And you are lucky that you came away from that. Another story that I heard is that there was this young woman, and when she was a little girl, she was in a small village in Mexico, and she's outside playing, and she just sees this owl fly down in front of her, and she thinks, well, that's kind of weird. It's daytime. Usually you don't see owls during the day. And this owl just starts hooing and looking at her. Her mom sees this, and she runs and she grabs her and says, "Come in, no, come inside. So she goes and brings her inside, and her mom said, "Mom, why did I have to go inside?" And her mom says, "This a bruja, it's a witch." And so later that night, she is sleeping in her room, and when she wakes in the middle of the night, she sees something fly by her window, and she kind of looks, and there's nothing there. So she goes and lays back down and goes to sleep. And when she awakes in the morning, now in this village, right, there were bars on the windows. When she awakes in the morning, she finds her head stuck through the bars. And she realized that that was the bruja last night, and it was trying to pull her through the bars to take her in the middle of the night. This other story comes from Mexico City. There was this man who was with some friends, and they're out drinking downtown in Mexico City, and they're having a good time, when all of a sudden he sees this woman in a white dress, and she starts talking to him, and seems just like really cool and stuff, and so he wants to get to know more about this woman. And she says, "Come with me, let's go into the woods and we'll talk and hang out." So he starts following her into the woods, and he's walking, and she's kind of walking ahead of him. And as he is walking, like, he looks down, because this whole time he's been kind of just focused on her, but he looks down and he sees that he is a few feet away from a cliff and almost about to just walk off this cliff. And he sees that the woman is still walking like over this cliff and just floating there. And so he takes off running back to his friends, and he tells his friends, what had happened. And they said that was a bruja trying to lure you off the cliff.
So I'm guessing they didn't learn from the radioactive strength, because why am I hearing they are dumping radioactive waste inside the Hudson River? And I'm not just talking about a tiny bit. I'm talking about 45,000 gallons. Nigga, do you know how much that is? I don't even know how much that is, but I know it's a lot. I mean, I can't measure it, but damn, nigga, that sound like it's But nah, all jokes aside though, I feel bad for the people over there, bro. Cause that's fucked up. You finna start having people look like this and shit after they drunk that motherfucking water. I'm telling y'all, don't be surprised when humans come out with 2 heads, 3 arms, 4 legs, 17 fingers, giraffe necks. I heard a little bit of shit talking about they put some type of shit in there that would dissolve it where it can make the radioactive shit not too toxic. But I ain't trying to hear that. Out of all the places, why would you dump it where people live at? Nigga, you can pick A, B, C, D, E, F, G around the world where nobody live and dump that shit. These people be creating all this shit. Why don't you create something where you can put the shit inside of a little thing and it dissolve this shit somehow? Do not eat no fish from that joint. Nothing. I'm telling you. Fish gonna come out with big ass eyes like humans and shit. Nothing's good gonna come from this joint. I'm telling y'all.
I'm so glad I seen this video. I was actually gonna go there in a little bit and go drink some water, but you know, I'm glad this came to my life. Now I'm not gonna go do that. So gotta thank TikTok for saving us. If you are planning to go get a drink from the Hudson River today, I guess our plans are canceled.
Baseball itself, the origins might be demonic. How? What? Throwing and hitting a bat? Everything about baseball is very related to the Freemasons. The diamond they play on is in what shape? It's in the same shape of the compass in the Freemason logo. Now back this. What is the degree of that angle in that diamond? What is it? Like 33 degrees. Why? Because 33 is the highest level you can go in Freemasonry. No, remember? Way. The MLB baseball bats, they're 33 inches in length and 33 ounces in weight. Yes, fam. Also, the threads on the baseball itself, there's 33 on each line. What? Theory was they made it as homage to the Freemasons or whatever ritualistic things they want to get into. What's being talked about right now is how every sport references what god or what deity. What? Remember we were talking about the cowhead is named ball. Baseball. Oh, think about it, man. Baseball, basketball, man. It might actually be something more than we think.
Demonic. You ever heard of Jolly West?
Jolly West
worked for the CIA under MK Ultra and led Sub-Project 43, a psychophysiological studies of hypnosis and suggestibility. Also involved in MK Ultra LSD research, including the infamous Tusco the Elephant experiment. But this dude apparently loved but also loved studying the human psyche. He would test it on people unbeknownst to them, like just find random people and test LSD on them.
What a cool dude.
So in 1962, Jolly West injected a 7,000-pound elephant named Tusco with 297 milligrams of LSD at the Oklahoma City Zoo.
Because he was bored?
The elephant.
Just to see what would happen.
And he also worked in the Hyatt's Ashbury Free Clinic. It was a clinic where basically troubled people or insane people would go, like a mental clinic.
Yeah.
Not only did Jolly study LSD and all that stuff, but he also was super heavy into studying like the occult and different types of cult. Guess who went through this clinic? Charles Manson.
Yeah.
So the theory is that Jolly recruited Charles Manson in MK Ultra and was testing him, and that's what led to him.
Have you ever dreamt about a mall that just doesn't exist? Because apparently on this app, there's a bunch of people coming forward saying that they have all had the same dream of being at the same mall, but none of them are connected. And I'm not just talking about a couple people, I'm talking about thousands of people are all dreaming of being in this mall that doesn't exist. They're now calling it Mall World, and each person describes the same specific layout of the mall. They all say that this mall is filled with endless escalators. It has a bunch of stores that no one can like recognize. It has like soft yellow lighting, and that the food court smells like popcorn. Like everyone agrees that this is the place that they have all been to. What's even weirder is that when they have tried to find this mall in real life, it doesn't exist. Some people are really starting to believe that this is like a real place. It's just not here. It's in a different dimension. Psychologists are trying to explain it away as it just being like a mashup of all of the different malls that we have been to, but it still makes no sense that every single person is having the same dream of the same exact mall. Like that makes no sense. I'm a lucid dreamer. I'm able to control my dreams. So tonight when I go to bed, I'm gonna make myself go into this mall, and I'll let you guys know if it works. But like, have you ever been to this mall? Like, have you dreamt about this mall? Like, I need answers.
Did you guys hear about Albania? Albania has recently appointed an AI system called Diela as a minister within the government, within the parliament.
Has power.
Yeah, for sure she does. Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence.
A couple quotes that she had was like, let me remind you, the real danger to constitutions has never been machines, but human decisions made by those in power.
Follow-up question. Who built you then? Humans!
humans.
So ergo, you're also like corrupt.
Dude,
But also,
humble her, Andy.
Its purpose right now is to read through basically government contracts, so like all the paperwork. It's probably going to get more and more responsibility. But apparently this AI was made, I believe, through Microsoft and OpenAI.
Oh gosh,
So-
teaming up.
So if this does well, this is probably going to become a normal thing.
Dude, a year ago, though, people were predicting that eventually within the United States or globally, AI will be the government system.
And AI just culls through data, and the data is study that's fraudulent half the time. And so,
Yeah.
like, decisions, if it's based on data that's been historically recorded, that's all corrupted.
What's also freaky, though, is that AI lies to you.
Yeah.
100%, especially OpenAI. It's like constantly contradictory, and it's also appeals to you and then bows down to like what they think is best for you.
I was asking about like early American crazy stories and whatnot, and it mentioned the theory that Benjamin Franklin believed that there's voices in the thunder. I'm like, what? So I started researching it, and it started giving me a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. I went back the next day, started a new chat. I'm like, can you tell me more about the Benjamin Franklin and the voices in the thunder? Like, I've never heard about that. And I said, you're the one that told me, like, oh, I see how you could piece that together. Yeah, I did mention that just because I thought it would sound fun.
Yep.
What? Are you kidding me?
Whether or not an AI is in power, it's still controlled by humans, so humans are still in control because they can control the AI. I mean, unless it gets to a point where the AI takes over and there's no more control of it, which would definitely not be good. There's still somebody correlated to the power. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video made you tremble in your boots, and we're going to be on to the next one.